Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fondema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat get back, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, I do, but Spoon TV.
Okay, folks, it's another exciting day in Monrovia. A great way to welcome you to another edition of the program, Spoon Talk. Right here live on Spoon 107.5 FM. We're live on Fabric 101.1 FM, Super 95.5 FM, and we're also online at Spoon TV Live and all the different platforms, Fabric TV Live and a lot more. I'm Nelson Collier. Let me say good evening to Dr. Richardson and good evening to James. Okay. Are you?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Hi, James.
Yeah. I think it was giving feedback. Good evening to Dr. Richardson and Honorable Nelson Kula.
Honorable Nelson Kula.
Honorable James, good influence. Leader man, I told you that honorable need that it get plenty of tension behind
it. He's promoting you to higher heights. Yeah. So I want to say hello to my good Liberian people out there. Liberians are one of the best people that I know in the world. So it's always a pleasure for me, and I think I can speak for my panelists, my fellow panelists, to come in and join you guys. Share this show if you have not done so. Call a friend to join you to listen to the show. I want to say hello to everybody, all Liberians out there. Today, we're going to have another interesting, spirited, interactive conversation. We're going to have Councillor Pearl Brown Bull here today. She is Liberia's legacy. She's a legend in our country. She's going to be speaking on a myriad of issues today. So I want you to come and listen to her, and we'll be watching watching in the comment section so that you can also be able to say whatever you want to say to her in the comment section. And when we open the phone lines for calls, you can also be able to speak to her. But today, this is your station, Liberians. We want to welcome you to your station. And it's always a pleasure being here. So I'm going to go back to you, Nelson, and good day, and sort of get some trending news from you. You know, it's never a dull moment in our country. So you guys can update Liberians. This is where they come for to get their news. So Nelson, I'm going to circle back to you, and then we'll go on to good day.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Richardson. So many trending issues in the country. One of the big ones that a lot of people are talking about right now is the Farmington declaration that was uh, a document that political parties affix their signatures to today, committing themselves to a violent free election. And that occasion brought together the different political actors in our country. The president was there, Mr. Cummings, and other political actors. So, according to NEC record, they have 31 political parties so far. So,
Yeah,
yeah, in our small country, 31 political parties. So 29 of those political parties today affix their signatures to the Farmington Declaration, committing themselves, their respective political parties, to a violent, free election. You know, when it comes to election, a lot of people are concerned about the different things that will spark up. So this is a follow-up, or if I may say, the second round of this declaration. The first time it happened, it was in 2017, when we had political parties going at the very Farmington that they went to today, and affixing their signatures to the declaration. So that's one of the happenings today. But a side attraction to that is that the newest political party in the country, the EFFL, they had a convention quite recently. It was on Friday. So the chairperson of the EFFL complained today that he was being he was denied access to the program today. He was denied access. That he went in there, but of course he didn't have time. Allegedly, he wasn't given access to the program. He wasn't permitted to enter. But then we got another side of that a statement from the EFFL political leader, from the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Jawa Tumpo, today said that, contrary to what Gongwe said, that he was denied access to the program, he actually went late. So according to Minister Tumpo, it was due to his late arrival at the occasion that led to Emmanuel Gongwe, being denied access to the program today. So the Farmington Declaration is the big one that happened here today in the country.
thank you very much for updating us. Good day. Is there anything you'd like to add on?
Uh,
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, Nelson.
Are you still speaking?
Yeah, so
Oh,
now,
sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
okay, so aside from the Farmington Declaration, uh, the registration exercise for the October election is ongoing. For the first batch of registration, the first 6 counties, it started on the 20th of March and is expected to end on the 9th of April. We're just days to go, since in fact today is the 4th. So former Vice President Joseph Boakai has been in the news calling on the National Elections Commission to extend the time frame for the voter registration exercise. And his reason for that appeal to the National Elections Commission is based on what he called some of the technical glitches that is being experienced at the different registration centers. So he mentioned the issue of some the temporary staff going at the centers late and leaving from there early, the machine being down in some cases, and just some of those technical issues, according to him, is denying some eligible voters from getting their cards. So he's appealing to the NEC to extend this. But in a recent interview with conducted with the NEC chairperson, Madam Director Brown Lasana, with the Voice of America, she disclosed on that platform that NEC is not considering an extension in the registration date. So that was not in reaction to the vice president's statement, but it just happened coincidentally. You know, he was on one hand calling for something, and then she said that on the VOA. So that's one of the issues. And then finally, the issue of the use of drugs, illicit drugs in the country, remains a major challenge. Families are having their own share of the devastating effect of illicit drugs in the country. And so recently in the St. Paul's Bridge area, a young man by the name of Wakai Famule passed off, and it is believed that he took in a huge substance of this drug called, there's a name, okay, it's called Kuch, according to what's in the news, Kuch. And so an aspirant in the area, Achisano, has been one of the loudest voices in the political space. And of course, he's been calling for the government, state security, to take some firm actions, calling on the president to maybe release an executive order that will ban the importation of those illicit substances in the country, especially the kush, which, according to him, is damaging dozens of young people in the country. So those are just a few of the many happenings in the country.
Wow, that's a lot going on here. I want to thank you again, Nelson, for updating Liberians to come here to listen to you and also to listen to Good Day for trending news that are in the country. So, Good Day, would you like to add anything that's going on?
Yeah, basically, Nelson talked about all, which has to mainly do with the Farmington agreement, and that was spearheaded by ECOWAS through the president, the president of ECOWAS, that's Dr. Toure of the Gambia, and we saw a possible presidential vice candidate to Ambassador Joseph N. Boakai today, taking part in the BVR process. That's Henry Petro Costa. Today, Henry Costa went through the process to get his card. It means now that Costa is ready for business. So he arrived in the country today and he went through everything. And he's not ready. So we look up to the former vice president now to either nominate or let me use the right word to select Costa Kun or Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence. Another information that we got today, but that is not really confirmed. Some are reporting that the former vice president is contemplating on getting Yombli close to his ticket, while some of those who are very close to him today, most of them call me and said, in the coming days, they're going to be announcing the selected running mate to Ambassador Boakai. But they assured me that this month will not end. Everything will be settled. There will be a selected running mate to Omen Boakai. Yeah.
Every day, yeah, but it won't run in mid business. I can't
And
wait.
another one again today, also Liberia, where you are. Former President Trump appeared in court today, and he was indicted on 34 felony counts. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I was going to bring that up just in other news section because Liberia takes priority to us on this station. But yes, the former President Donald Trump is to be arraigned in New York City. And I can't wait. After this, I will spend my time watching more of it and getting more detailed information. So I missed a lot of it because I was, working. But I want to welcome Al Hussein Fariga. Al is here today because yesterday he
I happen Leo now, yeah. There you go. I see you say you just say, there you go. I can get
well, Salamati is coming for you. So Salamati is running late. She'll be here shortly. Also, Connor Gray, I'm expecting to come in, and also Mr. Worsley is also expected to get here. As I said today to you, we're going to have Councillor Pearl Brown Bull in studio, or perhaps she's coming by link. I'm not sure, but we are prepared for her. She will be.
She's coming in.
She's coming in. Okay, great. She's coming in. We will be actually having a wonderful, wonderful conversation with her today. And interestingly, that you spoke about the Farmington Agreement that asks political parties to respect having a violent-free election. So a lot of times when people think about violence election, they think about guns flying around, shooting, and all of that stuff. No, it involves vote rigging, riots, protests, repression by security forces in the country, intimidating people, vandalism, target killing, terrorism, sexual violence. So all of those things are under the umbrella of violence. When we say violence in elections, so I just want Liberians to know that. Also, a lot of times people think that this happened post-election. No, violence can happen pre-election and during the whole period of registration period as well. So all of us need to be mindful of this agreement that was signed today. I also know that a lot of times civic education can have an impact. Learning your right to vote, your citizen responsibility and duties can have an impact on decreasing election violence. So having said that, Fadika, I wanted to know, do you have anything to add on your 2 minutes? Mm-hmm.
What I would say is it is good. I like that when people talk about peace and everybody trying to protect the peace. What we don't hear people talk about is what bring about these violence and instability in the country. When you have a country that the president chooses to disrespect the law, when you have a country that is marred by corruption, when you have a country where people that so ought to protect the law are indeed law breakers, when lawmakers themselves do not respect the law, these are things that pose challenges to the peace process. So we should not only just look at it in paper, we should also act it and put in the proper mechanism in place so that we do not, resort into violence. Liberia mob justice. The reason people have mob justice is because they do not trust the police. They do not believe that the police will solve the problem, so they take the law in their own hand. People go to the police. Some of the police themselves are criminal. So in the absence of true justice and all these things, insecurity, citizens tend to take it in their own hands. So we just don't want them to look. The ECOWAS and all these people that host these things, they are hypocrites. And I would say this: the destiny of Liberia is in Liberians' hand. Only Liberian can solve Liberian problem. So and the only people right now that can save Liberia are the opposition. If we notice that the government is not doing the best for the country, no foreign direct investment for the last 6 years, the economy is just stagnant, cannot move. Things going on that we have not seen before, rampant corruption and things that are going on. Some of the things that we fought civil war for, tribalism, nepotism, all those different isms that brought about the civil war. And sometimes I wonder, why did we even have to spill blood? Why do we have to go through extra length just to keep recycling bad things, bad behavior? And this is where we are. And everything that we see that brought about the war are still there. The worst part is we did not punish nobody. That's the worst part, because when people do the crime in America, they say when you do the crime, you do the time. Nobody did any time. Nobody served any time. Nobody was punished for crimes committed in Liberia. So we have not put in place any deterrent mechanism. You go next door to our neighbors, Sierra Leone. Most of them were annihilated. Some of them died on a mysterious circumstances, but they were jailed, wiped out of the system. So at least people that when similar situation present itself, people that are committed heinous crime will not want to do it because they will think twice that if I do that thing, there will be consequence. But in Liberia, nothing. What did we see? We see people being rewarded for their crimes. Those in power right now, or half of them got connection with what happened in the Civil War. They're living good. Their children living good. Most of them out of the country. And what happened? The same people that were abused and suffer from the Civil War are still suffering.
Absolutely.
So I don't just want people to just keep talking about, they protect the peace. It has to be done in totality. Not just, when people tell me, when someone violating our election law, You know, when they registering young children, you know, when the voter trucking, when the running campaign, when it's not even campaign season, you know, all these things just bring about instability. So I want ECOWAS to take note of all those things and not just sit down and have people sign people.
And Father God, you are making some very, very important points here because, like I said, you know, the whole umbrella of election violence include intimidation, people putting up posters before elections, you know, that you are intimidating voters. You know, you carry young children below the voting age go to register to vote in order to participate in the elections. And yes, when the incumbent allow these things to happen, the incumbent are the people who are holding power right now. It suggests that they have fear of the opposition or they want to remain in power. So that's why they have these weak institutions to monitor our election process. And you're right, nobody's going to change Liberia. It's going to take all of us to be responsible citizens to be able to watch out and see what's happening during the whole election process. And people shouldn't just sign these documents and say, oh, yeah, we're coming together to sign these documents. It is your responsibility to educate fellow Liberians and to also put in place security measures that will prevent these, children from registering. Poor watchers, have people at the booth to go and see what's going on so you can have evidence later on in the future to say, listen, I was there, I saw this, and this is what I have. Yeah, you talk about ethnic division piece. Hopefully, we'll take care of that through civic education. It does contribute to election violence as well. But I think Liberia is a little bit okay. Maybe we have rise above the situation, except people want to, poke that past of ours, that past that we have where we want to call divisiveness within our cultural group. Some people like to do that, There's some people that come in and say, oh,
I don't think it has. I think it has gotten worse though.
You think so? You think
if you look at it, look, it is trending. It is trending. Look, gradually the country has been southeasternized. Look at the makeup of the government.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
I mean, it's glaring. Even a blind man can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we got to stand up to any kind of divisiveness that would come in our country. So, I guess the biggest one was the Congo versus the country people. So now we see that this trend is the southeasternizing, our using the southeastern election or put them in the government, using them to put them in government so that it can weaponize our government system. So I think that's kind of what you're saying there. Well, let's welcome some of our audience, the people who took their time to join us today to be a part of this conversation as we wait for our fellow panelists to join us. They are coming in. And also as we wait for Councilor Pearl Brown Bull, she's going to be here today having a candid conversation with Liberians today. I'm going to start off, and then wherever I stop, Mr. Fadika will take the names from where I stop, and then perhaps another panelist is going to come in and take the name from there as well. I want to say thank you to Tippos PK Dempster. He's calling Spoon TV the CNN of Liberia. I like that, Tipo. That's very nice. Baker Ramsey is from Plebo City. If you're in Plebo City watching us along with Baker Ramsey, we want to tell you thank you very much for joining us. This is your station. Keep joining us. I want to say hello to Emmanuel Jackson from Boston. Emmanuel, thank you very much. Philip Bala is also here. I thank you for joining us, Philip Bala. He's always here. Tipla Popo Pupu is here. Tipla, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. Thank you for joining us. I did see my good friend Aquila, if you know who I'm talking about, Aquila Dolo, but I'm sure you're going by another name by now, but I did see you somewhere here. It's going so fast. Thank you for joining us, Aquila, my long time friend. She is. Kumba Bori is from Chicago. Kumba is watching us. I like women. Maybe I'm just looking for the women's name. And I will say, be free to look for the guy's name. Vivian Eastman is also here. Thank you, Vivian. She's watching. A lot of times I see your name. Baker is saying Dr. 6 p.m. is here. All right. Hi, Baker. How are you? Akon Blessing is here. He says, good afternoon. Hello. How are you doing? Josiah Ware is here from Nima County, Ganta City. Nancy Dula-Riches is here. She's watching from Liberia. I'm going to stop there. And Hussein, I'm going to ask you to just call names as you go along. I was just randomly calling names.
All right, yeah. Well, I saw my older sister. So let me try my own my nepotism here. I saw my older sister like, oh, I'm here. She's in Loganville, Georgia. That's Eleanor Marshall Davis in Loganville, Georgia. Yeah, I did it. Nepotism. We got Francis Weir. Oh, got one Weir in the house. We got Jikwa Duo. We got Goodrich Blowjay. J. Benedict Sando. Well, got a middle name in Sando. Maurice Ziegler. Man, this thing be moving fast. Monique, the great Monday General is in this house. We got Chic King. We got Honorable George Watkins Jr. We got Willie Hine. Dolo, full auditor. He says missing voice. Well, Dolo just went straight into politics. We got Tina Sako. We got Mark Johnson. We got, oh man, you got Ohaji Tiger Page 2. Fode Kiatamba. We got Kafa. Oh, Kafa. What's up, man? I see you for long in Georgia there. We got Honorable George Watkins. Well, that name came back again. Lucini Jackson, Augustine Tarzo, Lowa Do, Manny Paka. I got Morris Y. Peters. We got Georgia George. Joma Jala. Joma always on this program. I've always seen the Joma name. We got Chief Vafle Colley, Rebecca Kawolo. We got Hakode Kamara. We got Kane Ziele. Kane Fofana. No, Kamon Fofana. We got James Walker. James W. Walker. You say, can you see me? Yeah, we can see you, James. We got Sata Hamo. You say, take your time. Yaya, the great Yaya Kamara from Minnesota. Man, I got all my Minnesota boys in the house. Touch not my anointing. Well, beautiful platform. You say beautiful platform. Got Tali Jaffa. Where is my brother Eugene Fago? Eugene, your people calling you.
Yeah, I think he's coming in.
You're in here too? Where were you? I would not call your name for Eugene here.
I know.
Talking about Eugene. Now, Eugene calling your name. Ali will call your name here.
And you know what?
Annie Hoto from Lawrenceville, Georgia. We got Victoria Blamo Cooper. She say hi. Linda, man, Mensklo. Well, she say hi, guys. Fred Dennis Nangwe. We got May Pretty Queen. I wonder if on Facebook where I see people there that got fake name. I can't even accept them, my friend. Pete Cook. Is that Uncle Pete? The man from all the contests. I can enjoy Uncle Pete. I don't know. I'm a fan though. I listen to him sometimes. The other day he was blasting and like Uncle Pete. The tears. Uncle Pete in the hospital say he won't be on Facebook.
I saw that. Uncle Pete, I hope that you are feeling better. I saw that you didn't.
Yeah, I saw him in the hospital. I'm like, this guy is so passionate about Liberia. It's not even funny. Minister Mose Yuma Otello Yanni Dempster Grier. I got Miam. Oh, the thing they playing. You want me to keep going? Anthony Gay.
We're pretty good as we wait for our.
Yes, be a gaplet no talk. So
so let's begin the conversation. We already welcome our guests as we wait for our panelists to roll in as well. I'm gonna also ask you to tell us. I know you want to continue that conversation that we started yesterday, but me and you, since you're not here, me and you'll be on it today. So we talk about election violence. We talk about how it is not just signing papers, and election violence does not mean that we're going to hear gunshots and people are going to scatter and all of that stuff. It's intimidation, it's sexual violence, it's rigging the election. And I agree with you, Al, that nobody's going to save Liberia. The days of people coming a lot of countries are practicing isolationist now. They're focusing on their own taxpayers. Okay, the days of people coming to us and coming to set up peace plan, peace meetings, peace conferences, and all of that stuff, they tend to be over now. So we got to be the one to want to save our own country and to speak about developing our own country. So for me, if you go to the voting registration centers and you see people who do not belong there, you just get some evidence, take pictures, go speak to the leaders in your community, and try to formulate a plan where you can do something about it. I know a lot of you guys don't trust calling the police because you feel like yesterday I was, my heart was so broken when I was hearing a lot of the commenters are saying, Dr. Richardson, you're not understanding that some of the mothers are involved. They were encouraging their young children. And some of them are saying even the police, the establishment, the ruling party, they're all into this. So who are we going to turn to? And I understand that can be such a hopeless position to be in. But we got to keep trying. We really, really got to give it all. Take pictures, have evidence, that at least when you speak, I admire Yeke. Yeke actually took pictures. He had evidence. He had receipts for what had happened. And even when people were doubting him, I didn't doubt him, but I was in the middle. I wanted to make sure that I had sufficient evidence before I say, okay, this is happening. And so he came in, he said, listen, this lady is communicating with Moluba Molu in, the CDC party. They are planning on bringing all CDC voters to this one particular voting registration center so that they can register. And, he said it. And I was like, okay, all right. She said, then she came back and said her phone got lost. It wasn't her sending the text messages out. And then it turned out that NEC followed up, which I must give them credit, kudos to them. And they said in the letter that they wrote, they did their own investigation. And it turned out the information was coming from her. It was her phone. And she was communicating with Moluba Molu. This is what we call election violence. There was no gun involved. But that is a form of cheating. That is a form of rigging the expected election. So I'm glad that Yeke held his receipt. He held pictures. He spoke loudly. So what are your thoughts, Fadika, if you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, the thing is, it comes at no surprise. George, we have been planning the thing for a long time. I mean, it's an elaborate plan that was 6 years in the making. And what we are seeing, and he carefully targeted the young people. I think a lot of people are underestimating what the young kids can do. What we fail to realize is Liberia is a very youthful country. Very youthful country. Almost half of the population are very young. And that particular age, they do not know better. They do not even know the importance of the vote. For someone to weaponize them, I feel like they are being recruited as child soldiers. But this time now, not to use the gun, but to abuse the electoral system. That is a very bad thing to start doing to our kids that are not even grown up yet to fully understand the ramification of the action. Because the decision they make today will affect them for the next 6 years. That will be the reality for the next 6 years. So whatever bad government they put in power, going to be what we have to live with. And it all boils down, for me, I've never seen an opposition this weak. People say, this and that, if some people have to be diplomatic. You can't be diplomatic with people that behave like rebels. People that do not play by the rules. People that fight political guerrilla warfare. They do not play by the rules. They know the right thing, but they choose not to do it. It is deliberate. And the reason here is, I can say is, 6 years came too soon for them. These guys, they did not know what happened in the last 6 years. They thought 6 years was just eternity. But 6 years came too soon. And now all this ill-gotten wealth, all these things that they have gotten over the years, they want to keep it. No, I mean, they're looking in hindsight that, hey, we're going to be out of power soon. What can we do? It's an act of desperation. If you do well for your people, you take care of your people, you don't have to struggle this hard. If you fight for your people and did the right thing, you don't have to struggle this hard. What we are seeing is an act of desperation from people that came from rag to riches overnight. And those are the most dangerous kind of people, because it will cause fire and fury to remove those people from there. They're not going to go down easily. So they are using everything in the book. You see, my thing here is we need to prevent this, the obvious from happening. Because if we keep, taking these laissez-faire approach and not being forceful, that means you don't have to be violent to be forceful, but not being attacking these things from where they are happening. We will sit here. They will rig the election. We'll go to the Supreme Court that is already set up to go in favor of the government. We'll go through all the different processes. And at the end of the day, Big Brother not coming to change the election. They have given you enough ammunition. They put people on sanction. Why is McGill even allowed to run? Why is civil society not going after people like McGill? And the U.S. government is not even doing all justice, honestly. Because I'm yet to understand what the whole Manisky or Manjiski is. I don't understand it. Because if it is just slapping speed.
I want to hold you the two things that you were saying. I was in a company of Liberians this weekend, and one of the things they said to me was that, how do you know the ages of these young people? And I was like, what do you mean? They said, the incumbent could easily, we are still printing our birth certificates, And so they were saying, how far-fetched is it for people to just print birth certificates?
Oh, no, it's easy.
Young people, yes, that's what they told me, that it was very easy to do.
They have the means, they have the will, and they have the capability of doing this thing. They only have combination of everything to make it happen.
Yes, they have all the weapons. That was the first thing that was mentioned to me. And the second thing I was thinking about, I was like, so the taxpayers in the United States, want to come in when there are problems, when we start shooting guns and stuff like that. That's a waste of money for me. Why not do some preventative measures? You're seeing the things happening now. We are telling you that they are bringing these young children to vote, and people are trucking in others. You are hearing it, okay? But we are waiting for violence. Actually, the violence that most people know, like the shooting of guns, the killing of people. And then after that happens for the time, then we say, okay, we arrange for peacekeepers to come into the country. Again, that doesn't add up. Are you really trying to promote peace for us? Or are you just trying to see how bad we can harm each other? Or are you also then trying to see how much money you can spend on an arrangement like a security force? Because when they come into our country, they disrupt the fabric of our culture as well. And also they make money. This is not all for free. For all of those expatriates that come into our country, we see that they are making money. We saw that when they left the last time, our economy sank a little bit, right? Yep. So, but you're making a good point here. I'm hearing echo in my voice as we speak. So, and I'm going to hold on a second. I'm just going to go ahead. I have to make a few calls.
All right. Yeah. So the thing is, what I was saying is that it is so difficult for you to sit and say, oh, ECOWAS did, ECOWAS that. Look, this thing started months and almost 6 years ago when this guy came to power. And what we do, we underestimate the CDC. The other day I watched him, I think good day we had a video in there where they have a megaphone unit. Now, when you look around Liberia right now, what's the most annoying thing in Liberia? Orange Mini, Orange Data, Orange Mini.
Orange Mini and Insta Mini.
Recharge your phone.
Yeah.
As annoying as that may sound, everybody doing it, and you cannot resist that sound. The thing here is,
and let me just interrupt you a bit, right? When I was in Liberia, I saw a couple of them. They always do the recalling, right? Orange Mini, Lone Star Mini, Lone Star Union, all these things. So those people who I saw or who are met in the street, they did a recalling, and at the end of the recalling, most of them will always have vote for President Weah. He's the best. And
people think that those are they are underestimating Georgia. That's why I do not take the CDC. I do not underestimate them. I do not take them for granted, because you will be doing it at your own peril. These guys have mastered the act of manipulation. They have mastered the art of deception. And deception work, manipulation work, advertisement work. The mind, you see there's something called the subconscious. That there's some clock in there. I'm going to something. There is some clock in there. You cannot turn it off. I don't care how you manage. If someone keep repeating it, you tend to gravitate towards it. Everywhere in life, people can sleep. Already. So you will have to pay. If you go to that poll and you see all the other things, you see on certain day within the opposition, you see something, the last person you retain on a job here. Those things are good marketing strategy. And they are using the young kids. There is nothing stopping the opposition for not doing it. In the last couple of years, what we have been doing in the last, especially the last 2 years, we have been tearing each other apart. The opposition have been fighting. In Georgia, by design, did not want the opposition. Look, when I say I want opposition unity, it's because there's something. You see, not too many people have the me. They can call me prophet. Me, I call myself prophet too. The prophetic eye. A lot of you do not see
you. That's right.
There is something we are seeing that a lot of you are not seeing. Look, it took me some time. I think about Liberia so much. Sometimes it's hard to sleep at night. We go, I play videos, I go on Facebook, and people that know me that I don't sleep early. I sleep 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm either writing report, doing different assessments. So most time I do not sleep.
No, we are texting.
So every time I see something on Facebook, it pop up, I will see it, and I got notification and everything. And I'll go around and just try to free my mind from all the different biases or who I support. And I call back home. We all got family back home all over the country. And you call back home, and what I'm hearing is that the division is hurting the opposition. Most of the time, the reason I'm talking about opposition unity, it's not necessarily that Alice and Mr. Cummings and VP Boyka have to come together. But if we go divided, especially with that bitterness against one another, the CPP voters would not support Joseph Boyka Sekora. Vice versa. The UP or the Boyka supporter would not support. Who other else there would not support? Oh Lord, I'm in trouble. She well, let me finish talking about open.
I'm out here to respond. Talking,
yeah. So
what you say? I didn't even hear the last part.
I repeat you. I'll tell you again. He keep talking about opposition unity again.
Yeah. So and we have to make sure that we get it right, because these guys they are striving on our disunity. And when I look around, I see no other way there. But as far as this whole ECOWAS thing is concerned, it's really pissing me off. And one thing again I would like us to talk about is the drugs in Liberia. If we have a time, I really want us to talk about drugs. I think somebody called me the other time. These guys are deliberately infusing drugs in the community. I think it is by design. Drugs. I mean, I don't know what are they in America. I mean, drugs is plenty in America. I've worked. I have a bunch of clients that I work with that have serious addiction problem, and I know how serious it is. The sad thing is, the person that told me about addiction was a white American journalist that told me about the crack epidemic in Liberia during a Salif administration. He told me, he said, you know that crack in your country? He said that one of the things that concern me, this is the guy, I can call his name Johnny Doyle, the guy that wrote The American Warlord.
Yes.
Johnny Doyle and myself are cool. He did it. So Johnny Doyle was the first person that told me about the drugs, something. He said, do you know? I said, I didn't even notice that. I said, oh, in my mind, Liberian people can do all the things about the drugs. They take drugs. But the thing about drugs, you know the children, they say you can see your child from my own child, but you can't see the child go ways. Let me tell you something. Peer pressure is real. Negative peer influence is real. And these guys are not doing anything about it, because they want these children to be their zombies and guinea pigs so that they can control them and remote control and do whatever. For a very youthful population, I mean, I wonder what the future of Liberia is bleak if we don't do anything about this thing. So they can easily buy the voter card. I mean, a junkie, one of the most untrustworthy people are drugs addicts. And how many of our fellow citizens are drug addicts? It can easily be manipulated. So I think as we go to this election, let me just finish the point. I know Salamatu will can't disagree. No, but she will not disagree with me on the trust part. As we go to this election, I do not just want us to keep signing paper and looking here and there and something. Look, I like the Yeke doctrine. You call me anything. I know Martin Luther King kind of guy. Yeah. I'm a Malcolm S kind of guy. Yeah. Yeah. You do me, I do you. The only language that the government can understand, yeah, you might leave yesterday come to about my Malcolm S. They are able to say you are talking at it. Look, sometimes you got to meet people where they are. I'm not encouraging violence. I wish that I pray that our election become something, but civil disobedience is a tenet of democracy. That means you have to shake the government. There's a history of that. You have to shake the government where it hurts. You have to make people that oppress you uncomfortable enough so that they understand your craft. If you block the road, they make it go to work. 3-4 days they can go to work. They will say, "But my people, what happened?" But if they're comfortable and you uncomfortable, then something. I believe that rather than complaining later, the opposition needs to stick together and have a mass civil disobedience, where that will shut that country down until we can understand what is going on in that country.
So, and before Sanamatu come in, and I want her to, maybe she can integrate this into her answer to you, but just a thought I want to put out there. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, the oppositions, they don't have, power, they're weaker, CDC was strong," and what have you. But, CDC is another animal in our country. I'm not saying animal in terms of, describing them that way. They were ruthless in terms of their advocacy, okay? So I can imagine if they're going to respond to the opposition in a civil way, like Ellen would, it sounds like, she would get out of the car, talk to them, she didn't bother them when they were carrying her casket around, her underclothes, putting ketchup in it and all of that stuff. She really didn't speak of those things. She was mature politically that way. But I wonder if the oppositions were to do such things and go worse, the Black Street Rose as CDC did, okay? What kind of response might they get from the CDC government? So it'll be violence. Are you saying violence begets violence?
That one of the good things that happened, I said two things happened to humanity over the years, and if we had those things, I don't think we would have fought the Civil War. Cell phone and social media. Cell phone and social media. Those things were not around when they were butchering people, so people could get away with it. You killed 10 people.
Look at how when they dispersed, they protest in Liberia. They came and used hot water tank, and everybody had to go.
You know why it worked? Because there was disunity. Other people were backbiting. You put every aggrieved Liberian, you put every a mass rally called by every opposition group in Liberia to ensure that this government do the right thing, and tell me that there is power in numbers.
Yes, I agree.
You cannot kill the whole country. In fact, if they even attempt, they even it can't happen again. It will not happen.
Yes, so I want to bring you into this conversation here. Father God started talking about opposition unity. He thinks there's power in number, that we need to stand up. The opposition needs to stand up to CDC, and violence should beget violence. What are your thoughts on his comments?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, when we talk about opposition unity, I don't know how else we need to explain this to people, because apparently in Liberia, we have a very short-term memory. If it doesn't favor what we want to hear, then we act like it never, ever happened before. We agree the opposition needed to come together. They came together under one umbrella with the intent of selecting one of those people that were involved in the CPP. That was the unity. I mean, yeah, I can't understand why we keep going back and forth to this. That's what they decided. Everything you're saying, it made sense to them. They came together. They decided, okay, We'll do CPP, collaborate, bring everybody together. You have 4 parties at the time. 2 of them decided they would throw their men in the race. The other 2 decided they would not throw their men in the race. The 2 men that were in the race, the 4 party, all the delegates, all the paying members were supposed to go to a convention and vote on one of those 2 people. That were the unity, that what was happening. But now you look, one person said, oh, the other man finger document, the other man started fighting the team chakla. Yeah? Nevertheless, they're not split. We are still opposition who split. Moving forward, we either go campaign on our own, which everybody seems to be doing right now, and let whoever make it a number 2, because there will be a number 2. There's no first round. You stop it. It's not happening. It hasn't happened in our country for I don't know how long. It's not happening. There will be a second round. So the opposition right now, instead of the 2 of them united and fighting for one place, for one round, we are now split and we're fighting for 2 round 2 to make it a number 2. Whoever reached the number 2, all the energy that we have behind our candidate, let's take and put it behind the other person and vote CDC out of office. And I had that the first option.
I recall, Fadiga, that Cummings went on SKTV and said that he would support Walker in round 2. Okay, should we go there? He will support Walker. We have yet to see Walker say that. Okay, so when we speak about opposition unity, we have it has to go both ways. It's not just one way. We have yet to see.
Salamatu, do you, or it could be either of you. Do you also believe that there is a possibility that whatever was damaged in the past can be repaired?
There's always a possibility. I mean, yeah, you can never rule anything out. There's always a possibility.
Is that something you will want to see happening?
Yeah, of course. Of course,
let's call the 2 people in the room.
No, again, yeah, you're still not getting it. That's what we wanted to see happen. That's why we were pushing the CPP. The people decided, the mean people at the table.
Let's talk about the reality now. Look at the reality now.
It still is the reality. Okay. Yeah, we want them to come together. That's what we want. We want them to come together. We want us to be fighting for 1 round. That should be the goal. That's what we want. But in the absence of that right now, we have a bunch of people who throwing jabs at each other and saying they're not doing it. They're not doing it because everybody feel that they have the opportunity to win. Okay, instead of us fighting each other, especially we're doing it publicly, no problem. We can be opposition. We'll run our run. We'll go to second round. It will be a second round.
It's the supporters that are fighting. I think Alex, I listened to Mr. Ure. He said there's a cordial relationship between Cummings and Omen Boycott. I think just a lot of the supporters that are not united, but I think the two candidates are.
Again, we're talking about 2 people who are very mature. 2 people who honestly had a relationship. They still have a relationship. They're mature men. Ambassador Boycott, Mr. Cummings. They're mature enough to understand. You know what? Part of the confusion is politics, but we are mature men that can be cultural towards each other. If something, we make it to the second round, we put our support behind. But I would say this: with the supporters running and cussing each other, again, it takes leadership. So it goes back to the 2 top. For them to be able to tell their supporters and maybe preach that narrative. If they're not preaching that narrative, everybody will be cussing each other. They have to preach that narrative. We can say what we want to say about CDC. CDC got the people they in check. They got the people they in check.
Let me just welcome.
Yeah, they are, but they have the people.
Everybody asking for Fagon.
Mr. Fagon, former minister.
Who you're putting far from Salamatu because they're just keeping down there. Because you go out there, they can start talking differently now.
So yes, I like
we even wish the minister happy birthday.
No, we did. Oh, you are not yet on his birthday. We did that on
Oh.
Saturday. Was his birthday. I
keep
made
it
sure
later.
our Christian don't forget the kind of posts that are gonna come and show that are gonna come. We're gonna forget. Or not gonna be easy. Me, I scared if I go when you do a woman show there also. Anyway, I'd like to welcome you to your platform. I know you had a good birthday, yeah? And Salamatu, actually, I love your hair today. I love the way that you made it
thank you.
very, very beautiful. It sounds like Salamatu has made many attempts to get in contact with Councilor Pearl Boo. She may be having some problems, some technical problems, or some problems at her home. So we'll wait. We'll still open until we hear from her. We hope that everything is okay with her. It's unusual for us not to get in touch with her because we have been in communication with her during the course of the week. Having said that, I want to welcome you to your platform. Tell us about this birthday before we go straight into politics. God know that what we're coming to come to here today. So how was the birthday? We can't hear you. You muted. You muted. I don't know why.
No,
Okay.
no. That wish don't catch me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me say wonderful good afternoon to all of you wonderful people. Dr. Francine, Madam Salimatu, and His Excellency Al Hussein Ran Mufti Iman Al Haji Sheikh UJ Vadiga. It's wonderful to be with you guys again. You know, two things are going through my mind right now. I hope you guys forgive me. One, that Dr. Francine will tell Salimatu, you know, I like your hair, it's beautiful. Without just saying, you know, Mr. Fagon did well. You know, I think I deserve the compliment, you know, nice hair. You get all the compliment on the other side. The second thing I'm feeling uncomfortable with, I think we should start saying runoff. Why are you letting selfish say that on first round, second round? It's disturbing me. My mind is corrupted. Just say runoff. Because when yes, second round, the first round at my age now, I said, Jesus, we leave you out. You know?
Whatever.
The first round, the second round, you know, I think about my high school days. It's really disturbing.
We got cheering listening. You're cheering and listening.
Yeah, so that's why we need to say runoff.
Okay, well, run off.
Run off or run away. But I had a very good birthday, I must admit. People of New Jersey and Philadelphia and other areas treated me nicely. Then everybody that was so, my WhatsApp, people contributed, bought me drinks through my WhatsApp. People send me monies through my Zelle. And then I went to one guy's place they called JY in Trenton. And wow, little money's like 15. People were begging me to take it. Please take it and buy yourself a drink. Oh. We appreciate so many messages. Go to my Facebook page. I had over 1,200 best wishes in less than hours. And that was so great for me. And for my messages, for some of you I didn't reach out to, I'm sorry. I think it was thousands of those messages of best wishes. And that's why I can't find nobody to date me because they think I don't have time. No, I do. I have time for my Liberian people. And then one person too, I don't know which one of y'all on this set got a Samsung Galaxy Ultra 23. 5 cameras.
Wow.
5 cameras. What a gift.
That's what you needed. Wow. To do this podcast.
Box and the security.
Oh, wow.
See,
that's
5 cameras.
That's a birthday gift.
That's a birthday gift right here, man. And you know what? Wow. I don't owe a dime on it because I toured.
Okay, you open it up.
Homeless CDC say that to you. You know, verify you.
If they send it to me, I know straight I'm bomb. I know straight it won't kill me.
You're not either, right? Let me see. I have never seen one of those before.
Oh, yes.
I think just the commercial. So, when you open it, it has 2 screens, right?
No, they want to cheer I don't know.
Well, you're a blessed guy. That's all I can. Whoa, wow. That's beautiful.
Wow.
Let me call you, see? And the problem we are. So now, that was a wonderful gift. And guess what? I just put my old phone down. I say, you know what? Now when the people be calling Al Hussein there and all those people, they can call our old number. Now this new one. This new one, is reserved for me and my panelists and my good friends.
Yes.
All of my good friends. But having said that, okay, that person looking for me to block them because if they call me one more time on my and ring on my new phone, that means I wish they're trying to perform. And I'm not going to accept it. So it's wonderful to be back. Our people are all there. They're like, everything you guys saying, if you want my contribution, you got to ask me which specific one. Because Pride Bamboo, we didn't see her yet. So the one y'all were talking about now was what I overheard Salimatu and UJ going back and forth on was first round never happened before, so there's not a possibility of it happening in our electoral process. For me, I will hold that thought. And here is why. Because when we had a 2017 and 2011, there were so many formidable candidates. For example, in 2017, you had the great counselor of Liberty Party, Councillor Brumsky. You had the vote-rich senator, Senator Prince Johnson. Then you had the man from the Unity Party, Omenjo Boakai. Then you had President George Weah. And then you had Alex Cummings. Fast forward, of the 5 distinguished gentlemen that had, what you call it, that had political capital, of the 5 of them, we know that one is deceased, which is Charles Brumskin. Then we know Prince Johnson said, I hang my boots. I'm no longer in there anymore. So now you've reduced the 5 prominent, politically vibrant people to just 3.
Mm-hmm.
3 individuals now.
Mm-hmm.
So now that it's 3, how likely is it that we could have a first round? Depending on what happens. So one thing can be certain, the opposition vote is far more than the ruling party vote. Now, if the opposition vote equals 60 or 70%, whether it's split evenly or unevenly, you can say that the opposition vote, if Cummings and Boakai goes into the race, there will be some division there. Is it likely that some shocks will occur within the political system? Yes, there could be. Voters' remorse, voters' apprehension, voters' lackadaisical approach due to bad feelings and what have you. Like, for example, I'll be the first to tell anybody, in all of my honesty, JMB delay is causing a drop in momentum to his camp. Because imagine everybody dancing. For 1 year, I can't dance. I'm waiting for JMB to say something. I will get weak, man. A human being. I will feel discouraged. Every day you see people with beret, t-shirts, singing, dancing, going here and there. I will feel discouraged. The bystander effect from Cummings. Cummings said, okay, I'll wait for, we are finished, I'll wait for JMB. Then whatever left, I go fishing. And that is a fact. That bystander effect too is hurting Cummings people because they want to jump around, they want to get energized, they want to work. Salimatu didn't want to hold these town hall meetings quickly, these big banquets that we will be forced to go to because we won't see this celebrity called Salimatu. You know, we won't see her, so we won't go there too. And then Dr. Francine will be there dancing like that dance I saw, you know, but nothing happening. Everybody just cool. It's killing the momentum. So one fact established is that the opposition has the majority. No debate on that one. But can George Weah tap into it and move it over that could put him over 51? It remains the message. And if you have crafted people to do that, why not? It's not 5 persons in the race, it's down to 3. So if we can kick out 1 person, then it will be down to 2. And then we look at the situation and know that we're up to something. But I think 1 round is still possible. So here is the question to prove my theory of the 1 round is still possible. What if tomorrow morning you wake up and say Cummings and JMB going on one ticket? Will we be talking about one round possibility, or we'll declare the elections over? We will. What if Salimatu theory, JMB said, my son, come. Let me bless you and this man. I'm out. Y'all go. One round is still possible. Okay? So one round, there is a possibility for first round, except that those claiming that they will win in first round are actually the least. They are at the bottom of the food chain right now when it comes to the electoral process. For that, that is my contribution.
Yeah. Fagon, you made some really salient points, about the possibility of a one round election. Your evidence and the way that you supported your argument made a lot of sense to me. So there's some voters apathy definitely that's happening, considering that nobody's moving right now. But we've been hearing a lot of news about, JMB picking these different characters for vice president. We heard, Kuhn. I think there were some pictures I saw today where Kuhn appeared with him. We also have seen Yombly as a possibility. We heard Yombly as a possibility. We also heard Costa as a possibility. So how and actually beginning with Fadiga, and then also going to Salimatu. What do you guys think about JMB selecting Kuhn?
Well, the person that's sitting answer Kuhn is there. That here look like JK Jeremiah Kuhn here.
That's what I'm saying. You are there.
But you said Jana he appear with JMB, so I'm confused now.
Well,
I don't know what he's standing on JMB.
Wait for the next picture.
Yeah, that's what he's standing near JMB.
Yeah, and you see it there?
I think the probably was sleeping, sir.
They look like they're sitting at the same table. That's all.
I think, which is nice. That's very nice.
They're sitting at the same table.
Oh, the same round table.
Yeah.
I think it must be like a round table.
Saying something to Waka, and Waka was smiling.
Papa get up.
Yeah, he said Papa get up. Yeah, the man that's smiling. Don't gonna lie.
He was smiling. Okay.
So, but let's look at some of the possibilities, and let's be as objective as we can be. Let's think about what would be good for our country. Let's look at the dyad, for example. Let's look at, we heard a lot of news. JMB is the one who's talking right now. We're not waiting, like you said, waiting for Cummings kind of explain this bystander thing. I'm waiting to see if JMB can select somebody. That's what appears to be. We don't know if that's for sure what he's waiting for. Maybe he just, vetting his candidates. Okay, but let's just look. Let's talk about JMB and Kuhn. What are the possibilities? Do you think that's going to be in the best interest of our country? Some people just think that Kuhn is going to bring in that conflict. I think not. Okay, but Salimatu, what do you think? And then we'll go down to Yombly, the woman factor, and then of course Costa, who's the talk show host factor.
Honestly, I cannot answer this question until Ambassador Waika actually makes an announcement. As far as I'm concerned, everything is a rumor. Yeah, when he makes an announcement, then yeah. And I was on his, again, I campaigned for him the last election, and I don't remember him making picking his VP pick this early in the game, to be honest with you. It seemed like it was towards the end, like the last maybe a month or 2 months or something. It seemed like it was very close to election when he selected his. I could be wrong, but I don't remember him selecting a VP pick this early. But nevertheless, this is a different elections. People are anxious until he comes out and actually say something. I don't want to speculate. I know.
Okay.
Let a political analyst then talk.
Thank you. But I think Liberia deserves to know how the dyad's going to be in the best interest of our country. And I respect your views, Salimatu, okay? But I think Liberia deserves to know, we need to know about Kuhn himself. What does he bring to the table? What does JMP bring to the table too? How might those two people work together? Have they worked together before? What do we know about them? And I'm going to put those thoughts to you, and then we're going to go to Mr. Fakon, which he's spoken about this a lot of times, so I know exactly where he's going with this a little bit.
Well, like Fakon said, well, we certainly agree, but at least there's one thing that we can agree on lately, and that is the unity of the opposition. But Fargo says something, and I think I said that yesterday or day before yesterday. Voter excitement. If the voter are not excited, it's not a good thing for the opposition. We are seeing a decline in excitement of our voters. And the reason there is a decrease in excitement is because of the uncertainty. Voters do not like uncertainty. In Liberia, in Liberian politics, people vote based on what's in it for me. Even though it happened in America, it is worse in Liberia because your vote could determine whether your parents will eat for the next 6 years or they will be ostracized for the next 6 years. People keep track of those things. In America, you can go vote, come back, you still got your job, no job tied to government. 80-90% of our people rely on government. Government is the biggest employer. We do not have any private sector that we can think about. So most people that you see that are live on government, whether directly or indirectly, they live on government. So they're watching out to see my uncle got job right now in government. My auntie got job in government. My brother, my half brother, some relative in government. Are they going to be on a job? Who going to replace them? We do not have career civil servant in Liberia. When one group come, whether they competent or not, they bring a bunch of incompetent people, move the other group of people. So people look at all these factors. When people say, oh, the Liberian people, these are things that motivate Liberians. And then they want to vote for the opposition. The people that are protesting at transport, you think they want this government to cut the salary? No. The civil servant that went from 300 to 150, you think they're happy with the government? No. But they cannot say it. Look at the young man in the Philippines. For speaking up, he's stranded in the Philippines because his government cut a speech for him, left him stranded. I don't know they want him to die there. Or country treating a citizen the guy from Legends. I don't know his name. This is how they will go after you. Even Ellen, honestly, they all do it. I wrote an article called her the economic dictator. Ellen did not use violence. Ellen will strangulate you economically to the point that you will wish you were dead. And nobody will do business with you in the country. That is what your political leaning can do to you in Liberia. So the Liberian people want to be certain that the opposition will defeat George Weah, or else they will just rather cave in and be respectful to him. Not that they necessarily like him, but because they do not want, like I said yesterday, Mama and Papa to be out of job, and they say, you know what, you didn't vote for us, but you know what, we're coming for you. So uncertainty is very bad. What will bring about that assurance? What will give them the confidence and the excitement that we saw that elected Dillon, Young Woody, and other something is for people to see that force. That people will come out and know that, like I said yesterday, they will not decapitate this administration just by hitting it on the remove the administration by hitting it on the tail. They say when you want to kill a snake, you take it from the neck. Because when you hit the tail, it gets disgruntled, it will start to bite.
So Falca, are you wish again, just be clear about this, or let me be clear about this, are you suggesting that an opposition unity, which is kind of has been your theme, might excite the voters? Is that what you're saying? You're saying
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So when they see that, look, because like we can all agree, like Eugene just said that two scenarios. Worker get out of the race, give Cummings support. I don't really care which order. That's why you see me, I just say unity. I don't care who goes top bottom. I just want people to come together. You know that will be a game changer. I wanted to post smile on Salomatu's face.
No. I honestly, that was my question for you. Like, what does opposition unity looks like for you?
It doesn't matter. I'm not going there right now, because if I go there, it will bring about the same pointing finger. I don't care how it comes about. Top bottom is not my concern right now. The thing here is the two grown people.
So no, that's important. I want to shift to Falcon a little bit. And I want to hold you here because it's so important that. So you are saying it doesn't matter if JNB is the presidential candidate and Cummings goes as vice president to you, it doesn't matter to you, or if Cummings goes as the presidential candidate and JNB goes well, I don't know, as his vice president, or
This
just
is
get
what's going to happen. Look, we have to be realistic and be reasonable. There are some things that we got to take into consideration. Look at the age gap between the two. JMB, Cummings is far younger. JMB has been a vice president before. Most likely, he might not want to go as vice president for the second time, which is fair enough. But one thing is certain, given what we know and what has been out there, JMB cannot go for 2 terms. I mean, except when he want to be a president in a wheelchair, we'll wheel into the 2029, we'll wheel into the poll. But I don't think that he's that greedy. I think he's a reasonable and rational man, and some reality was sinking at that time. My thing here is for the soul of the nation. How can we save the soul of our nation? Are people talking about morality? I got something. Look, let me tell you something. You can preach your morality all you want. That's one of the places that I usually disagree with something. Look, you can have morality, have something. It doesn't say less about your morality. The thing here is, what is such a voter? It has nothing to do with your morality or who did that. We have to save the soul of the nation. I'm telling you, we can't.
So you made, and I'm going to Falcon right now. So Falcon, you made some interesting points here, saying that you don't think that JMB can go as a vice presidential candidate because he already was a vice president in in past government. But you think that Cummings is younger. That's what I'm hearing you say. So you think that will probably be a more realistic team. So Papa, I want to come to you. Can you hear me, Fagon? Just
Yeah, but that Fadiga said I think so. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, so I see that
I'm
he's
waiting for you to give me my own plate.
Yeah, so your own plate is, and I believe that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you share this view of JMB taking the ticket from the top, being the top of the ticket. That's that. So correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right on that?
That JMB should be the head of the ticket?
Yes.
But even you yourself, when you were talking to Fadiga, you struggled to put JMB as vice president for the second time. You struggle. And that is a reality. And the reason why it is a reality is, I'll give you 3 reasons. 1, look at the age gap between these people. 2, I'm not saying Coca-Cola. I say when it comes to Liberia, Cummings have only been in Liberian politics for 7 years. JMB has been involved with Liberian politics for 42 years. Of the 42 years, JMB have served. Cummings got yet to serve in one position. Now, when it comes to being that man that worked in corporate America, you got to give that to Cummings. But the position we're vying for here is President of the Republic of Liberia, not CEO of a corporate institution. There's a difference there. So it comes with experience. It comes with your participation. It comes with your knowledge. It comes with just you understanding the traditions, the cultures, because without poor culture, I understand as Guapo. Guapo will equal with Bidapebe. We probably will gay soft under the table. But so you have to understand all these things. And so you look at an old man that have gone into this thing for years. And you say the only thing you want to do is to become president. That makes it difficult for our traditional leaders to stomach. My son, you got to count on somebody that didn't hold your hand, hold you through this thing. Even Josh, we told, he said, go in the Senate. Even though Fadiga was saying, in the Senate, I told nothing. But the same old people told him, go start from somewhere. You can't say you won't be president. What's the difference between Josh and Cummings? It's the same thing that old people have told Cummings. Hey, start from somewhere. He said no. He will be on the top. To make matters worse, people who realize that Cummings wanted to be on the top, and I say this in honesty, fairness, I don't care what anybody wants to say, that's their business. They took advantage of the situation. They deployed their arsenal, and they made sure, because they foresaw that it was going to be a JMB and a Cummings ticket. They did everything to destroy it. And Cummings helped them play that music. And so when that happened, we know where we stand now. I can tell you, it will take the negotiations of my Elling, ECOWAS, the United States, and in 3 powerful groups, and the traditional leaders to make a foe, to reverse everything that have been planned right now with respect to JMB. It will take those 4 parties, and if they're successful in doing it, Cummings will be the vice president. And hopefully, in the future, it will be Yombly and Jeremiah Kuhn, based on the arrangement of Prince Moi, that will fill in the gap under Cummings when JMB takes his exit. As it stands right now, politicians such as myself, people who know themselves and understand Liberian politics, we're now fixated on JMB at the top of the ticket. That is a foregone conclusion.
Okay, yes, thank you. I want to welcome Colonel Remy Gray, and I want to just make a clarification here. My struggle to say JMB should serve as the vice president of Cummings didn't come from the point that I don't think that he can be vice president. In my head, I was just kind of trying to chronicle.
That he will be vice president again for another 2 years.
That's exactly what's going on in my head. But that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that he can't. So I was just kind of trying to figure out, like, what stops him? What would prevent him from being a vice president for Cummings? That's what
the same reason that they're given that prevents him from being a VP. That is the same reason they want to use for him to become president. Or he's too old. But yes, indeed, yeah, he should be. You understand what I mean?
No, we didn't say
no, I didn't say the word.
Let's protect Salamatu, please.
No. Y'all need to move Fagon for BF Salamatu.
Let's protect Salamatu.
He's the elderly statesman. He has
no. But all I'm saying, you're right. I need to stop using the word old. But all I'm saying is that the same word, that the same term that they're saying he should not go as VP. In that same token, we're saying he should go as president. But my question is, people are saying, Cummings will go as JMB VP. So again, what does this structure looks like? Because y'all keep forgetting there is a legal instrument called the CPP sitting at NEC that's already been approved that people will run under. So what you're trying to say is that ABC will not leave the CPP and go jump under UPTK. Somebody posted in the chat group, and this is what I've been hearing from the time I went back to Liberia, from the time my Ellen were running. Yeah, that the Liberian people then let to give one administration 2 terms. They don't let to give Liberian people 2 terms. Since true we time, we finished with that party, we say we're not doing it anymore. And someone posted in there, said, let's just say, you know what, I'm sorry, that Cummings goes under, I guess, which is not happening. It's not happening. Y'all go, you can't done. It's not happening. That narrative is not happening.
So Cummings do it now going on JMB right now.
I say it won't happen because number one, there is a legal instrument that he's under. Unless somebody knows something that he planned on leaving the CPP and leaving his party to go join or UP.
I'm not talking about
I know.
Salamatu, it could be some organized. I'm not a fan of the Unity Party. So I'm not even calling for the Unity Party to something. It could be any other opposition framework. My thing here is they need to start the conversation now, because the tension that will brew between these 2 leaders will also spill over to the supporters. And at the end of the day, we'll feel it at the bottom. That's the bottom line. So when we keep talking about everybody taking a position and marrying to that position, you cannot look. It is glaring that with
politics is dynamics. Just say it.
With union success is sure, and we need our unity.
So let's go to Colonel Gray here. And Colonel Gray, I want you to speak to this whole concept here, where we're hearing from former Minister Fagon and also Fadiga that's saying, oh, let's let the former vice president be at the top of the ticket. Mr. Cummings can serve as the bottom. They're equating experience and years in politics to leadership, in my view. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's hear your thoughts about it.
I think sometimes we learn too much rationale behind certain decisions and fail to look at the bigger picture. Everybody is complaining, oh, he doesn't have governmental experience. If I were writing a research, um, the fact that the hypothesis is faulty, and I'll begin to question the validity of the research itself if I were to make certain generalizations a conclusion. If the man who does not have governmental experience yet is the man who you think is the best suited person to pair with, quote unquote, your very experienced longevity in serving public sector candidate, if that's the only guy within the opposition rim that is best suited, there must be some hidden rationalization that people are not coming up with. I don't believe that it's because the same mouth that is saying this guy don't have governmental Liberian experience is the same mouth that is saying he's the best to pair with the old man Buckeye. So that is a contradiction right there. If a man is not qualified, he cannot be qualified to even be vice president in the first place. But I think the argument is there's something hidden there. What is hidden? It means the woman by itself will not win elections. And we're looking at the person that can best complement him. If we agree that somebody is complementary enough to be a running mate, they can be president. So you defeat your own argument. In other words, what I'm trying to say is let's stop all this explanation about this person don't know this person, the Zoe in Liberia. Look, the Zoe have never decided Liberian politics, especially when it comes to the leadership. They have never. They've always they've gone with what comes out of either some big hands, what we call our politics is not only decided in the ballot box. There is Main Street, there is deep state. Lots of folks are involved in deciding who becomes president. That's why when a George Weah will go, quote unquote, allege that he won 2005, people say, well, they talked to him. But I think Mr. Cummings is extremely qualified to be president because he has demonstrated that in other sector where billions and billions of dollars are involved, thousands of individuals were also involved in the leadership. Whether you want to call that corporate or you want to call that governmental, leadership is leadership. All you needed to do was to prove your worth, and he has done that. But what I'm trying to say, you look at the temperament of the Liberian voters. I still have not been able to see clearly that it's leaning towards um, Mr. Cummings. I clearly have not seen it. He got some struggle there because we're playing on a different turf. Perhaps we hope some last thing will just appear somewhere, tada, and then it becomes the name that everybody running with. But as it is for now, you can feel, like I said, I'm a researcher. I can sample. People are still coming out and saying, we don't hear certain things. But we also believe that the old man might be slightly on top of the opinion polls, but he does not have the finances, which he needs Could that be the reason why he's leaning towards Cummings? Could that be the reason why a talk show host will waver $5 million somewhere and then try to lure the old man there? All of this could be variables. That's why I say let's stop all this analytical to do with trying to do with the presidency. I think if you're asking me, Cummings could come to go complement the old man either way, either up or down. But we need that ticket first. Let's lay that premise that we need the two first. Then when we get in the house, we'll decide who goes first and second. But if you're saying that only your man's supposed to be on top, then right away you don't have a decision. You don't have an agreement. I think the two of them should agree first that
Reverend, just say you agree with us.
let us form a ticket. Let us form a ticket, and then we can go in and then decide who goes one. There are no laws that Ambassador Barker cannot be vice president for a third term. Especially if
There is a law.
There is no law, sir.
There is a law.
No, there is no law.
The book.
No, there is no law. There is no law. Don't distort. There is no law. You quote that law to me. You quote that law to me. We can go and look at it.
Give me a chance. Let me quote the law to you.
You quote that law to me.
Article 100, subsection 18.2 says, JMB must be at the head of the ticket. Anything to the contrary is unacceptable.
It said in a law. It said
in a law.
Yeah, no law.
One correction I wanted to make.
I don't think we should make fun out of this. This is.
But the thing is funny.
The thing about this. Let us first agree that the two people complement each other, and then we can see eye to eye as to who goes first. But when you say this much,
you see eye to eye. You look at a former vice president.
No, it does not matter.
Who served 12 years.
It does not matter.
And you say a man with
why did you go the argument where Madam
has
Selly
shown
said
leadership with billions of dollars? That's what you said.
My friend, why did Madam Selly? Why would we go Madam Selly?
Can we dissect? And I want to start with you again, Alpha Fadiga. You came in first, and then we'll go to Salimatu, go to Fako, and then we'll go to Gray. Let's, for the sake of the Liberian people, because ultimately they have to make the decision. All of us that are Liberians here. Okay, let's explore this idea of experience. I keep on hearing this word experience and leadership. Okay, ultimately, we need leadership. You can have years of experience doing something and don't have the leadership ability to be able to move that thing forward. And I think we will do well and serve Liberians better when we present the information to them in terms of the best person that can move. If you guys tell me, say, okay, JMB got experience, how can experience in government right now move our country forward? If you say Cummings got leadership, how can leadership move our country forward?
Let me say this. Let me. Conor Gray says something, and I differ with him on it. He says something. He said, "Zoe do not decide the election."
Yeah, that's what he said.
I think you misspoke. I think you misspoke, and this is where I think you misspoke. If you know how the voters in the rural area vote, one town chief just can't say, "You know what, my children ain't that person who won." They don't. It's not about platform. It's not about nothing. I know it because I went in those butches before, and I've seen how these people select their leaders. So that's why people look for the figurehead and want them to bring on the side. These people go in the video and say, "My children, that mayor will carry." Everybody go for that person. They don't even vote different way. Everybody vote that one way. That's how they vote in the rural area. So when you say the Zoe don't decide the election, I don't think you meant it. But I can put words in your mouth, but I don't think you meant it. The Zoe and the traditional leaders, they are an integral part of our decision making. Joseph Boyka somehow mysteriously happens to fall within that category. He's not a Zoe, he's not a something, but they see him that way. He's been around for a very long time. It doesn't matter whether he was good or successful in what he did. I've been very I've been on the old man back for some time. But at some point, reality will have to sink in. And for me, my stand, people can call you flip-flop or switch, da. I'm a realist. I don't see things for what it could have, should have been, especially dealing with Liberia. Look, our people are different. It doesn't mean they are bad. It doesn't mean they are crazy. It is just a way of doing things. You have to meet them to that level before you can even change it. Everything else you say is fly. It's like the American typical speech that is written for the American president is tailor-made for somewhere around 6th, 7th graders. That's for them to understand. If you read a speech and using early English, speaking above those people, then all the people will be there, yeah. When John will speak, you want to everybody, yeah. But a lot of people will not even understand it. So when you start talking about standard and talking about things that we have that are not customary, look, Liberian people have normalized certain things. It has become a way of life, part of life. To just change a tradition, it takes generation to change it. It takes different things to put in place. The people have chosen their leaders certain ways. Look, the reason there's some things that honestly are for some reason or another, I'd rather not say, but there is a reason why I made a conscious decision to say Mr. Cummings and Mr. Boyka need to sit down. And the only thing I can say, because I do not want to divulge a lot of things that I already know, is that Cummings, that the term where I won't say, Cummings did not leverage his resources for the last 6 years. Had he done what I think I suggested, I don't know whether it reached to him. Had he done the things that we wanted him to do, but now we won't be seeking the song. The reason we are where we are 6 months to the election, we cannot get it done. It's almost impossible. So for some people that have married position, honestly, January, if we do not change strategy now, if we do not start to get our act together, I can tell you this: if there is no unity, if there's still the same fighting, CBP, they honor one another, I can guarantee you this: George Weah will be the next president.
Okay. I'm going to put a set of Matthew here for her to weigh in on this discussion, what we're talking about. But every time you use the word married opposition, it's almost present like a negative connotation because somebody is not agreeing with what you're saying. You want unity within the opposition, and that people who want Mr. Cummings to be a leader, they are inflexible. They just married to that position.
Some people will not change no matter what. They get stuck. You have to have some flexibility. It's not static. Politics is dynamic. Somebody can cause you. We have seen it over and over. Look at Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. We have seen the instances. There's some people that even if you can tell them the truth, if their mind made up, they just want their mind to be up. They just don't want to change. But you have to have some flexibility. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the country. Look at the possibility of George Weah becoming president again. Look at the possibility of taking the risks and we losing all. Look, it's a risk.
So, it's a risk. And I want to go to Sadamatu because so Sadamatu, Father Guy is advancing this argument that if JMB wins, that means that we're going to move in progress our country. Our country is going to move in a better direction than what we have now with the CDC government. What are your thoughts on that? You muted.
There's a reason why I decided to support Alex Cummings. I've seen bad governance, and I've seen bad governance from when that particular government wasn't in power. I look at people surrounding the candidate. I look at the experience, and that's what I base my judgment on. I don't base my judgment on, the best person who will more than likely give me a job, the best person who will more than likely give me a contract. That's not me. I campaigned for Ambassador Boyka before. Moving forward, I consider myself a young person. I'm of Generation X. I consider myself a young person as compared to leaderships that we've seen throughout Africa. A youthful population, older, much older leadership. And yet the continent as a whole is still stuck. Only places we see vibrant young leaders, and there ain't that many in Africa, that we see them moving, so to speak. With that said, Liberian history, we look, again, I'm not a politician. So yeah, I'm not a politician. I'm not a political analyst. But you're looking at a situation where it's bad governance. Let's not forget it. It's not anything personal against President Weah. It's bad governance. You have a bunch of people who we're saying they don't know how to manage the country. How do we want to move from here forward? Can JMB take us forward? Possibly, yeah. Who I believe can take us even further or take us on a better path is Mr. Cummings. That's who I think. I think Liberia needs a different disruption right now, a good disruption. They need something different. We've been doing this over and over and over. I think we need something different. We need a person who will come there who will more than likely have the opportunity of being reelected the second time. We need somebody who is there long enough for, if they leave power, we're able to hold them accountable in the event that they should not perform the way we ask them. We need somebody who actually has a vision for Liberia. We need somebody who can help unite the country. And all of this is not going to be done in 6 or 12 years. But if we're all sitting on a platform that's supposed to be the largest platform in Liberia, have the power to influence, have the knowledge, people, there are a lot of people who look at us and say, you know what, I believe in what they're saying. They can influence me. And if we are sitting on here and saying that Mr. Cummings is the best choice moving forward, but then there is a serious problem with Liberia. That means, one, we don't know how to make a president. We're depending on what's already there and seeing how we can just dress it up a little bit and put it there. I will say this again, and I may be wrong. I believe solely that the narrative needs to change, that we have a statesman. I agree, that Ambassador Beka, this guy served his country well. We have a lot of respect for him. I believe that he either run independently to Mr. Cummings, or he raised Mr. Cummings' hand and he retired, raised Mr. Cummings' hand and let go. Why that narrative can go? We say Mr. Cummings, everybody want Mr. Cummings to go as his second. But at the same minute saying, oh no, we want him to be president. And I asked a question nobody has answered. There's a legal document in place. Why are we so comfortable in not following rules and laws? There is a legal document. So even if you say the two men and women in the back of the room, somebody please help me now. How does that document come into play? Mr. Cummings just say, you know what?
Can you throw light on this legal document?
The legal document is the CPP document that's at NEC. And I keep repeating that nobody, you will not see anybody running under a ANC or independently ANC or Liberty Party. They are a part of a collaboration that they must run under the CPP. They can leave ANC and go run independently. They can leave CPP and go run independently as LP, but they cannot use the LP or the ANC to run under their party outside of CPP.
If they retrieve that document and sign a new document, take a new document to the NEC.
That what you think? That what you
telling? Don't go there. Let her finish because you're not taking 1 hour. Still saying that.
Yes. So we're gonna go to the phone.
How you think what happened?
Yeah,
let me dissect a little bit.
We have to go.
Let me dissect a little bit.
Everybody go independently.
Hold on a second. Let's go.
Listen, Fangon. Let me say this. Sometimes. Let me say this. Sometimes you take longer than everybody to talk. Sum up some patience and let somebody take longer time to do talk. It's a virtue. The thing about this is this. Olusegun Obasanjo has decided more electoral outcome in Liberia than any zoo or any paramount chief sitting in Bombolahu. You understand? The reason I'm saying this, we have deep state. If it comes to those people deciding election alone, George Weah would have been president long before. We know that. So I'm telling you, it is not that our people don't have the ability to vote who they want to vote, but sometimes there are extra special interests that are involved that broker the decision. I don't care how Fangon want to claim that he knows Liberian politics. I will tell him that Liberian politics has evolved from the paramount chieftaincy level now to the deep state, international interest. That's one of the factors deciding that can decide. That's why people are looking at Alex Cummings as a formidable person. Locally, yes, the Ome is popular. They know the name. But I can tell you, election takes more than the ballot box. I don't care how anybody looks at it. That's how I feel, and that's how it has been for the last many, many, many years.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to Fagon, and he's going to take us to our phone lines. Fagon, you have sort of espoused that the Ome has been in politics for a long time. He has this experience, and so one of the reasons you've advocated for him, and again, I hope you correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth, is the fact of that experience factor that he has in the government. Like you claim, he knows Liberian politics. Can you tell the Liberian people, Fagon, to what extent that you think this woman can lead us in the pathway? I'm sorry, I'm just saying it as a term of endearment when I said this old man is not negatively.
Oh man,
the former vice presidential candidate. To what extent can he lead Liberia into a good progression, into a progression of development?
Well, thank you, Madam Moderator. You want to tie my hand to this question, but all the other people talk freely. So I got to talk freely before I answer your question. So here is my own free talk. Now I listened to Remy Gray, who had to be corrected by Al Hussein. He still found a way to come back.
He didn't correct me. He made a point. He countered. He didn't correct me.
Yeah, but you see, then
no, he countered. Okay, he did not correct.
You know fully well that the deep state are in. It has to do with, first of all, I don't know if you study politics, though. You are a researcher. But when we talk about the deep state in political science, we're talking about influential people that are usually from the government, military, or other areas that have influence over the policies that they push into government and manipulate. We know that for a fact.
Exactly. International power brokers.
You say the Zod ain't got nothing. They may say no. They may break it down for you. Then you come back and say Obasanjo. Obasanjo playing a background role to make two people talk. What I want got to do with our 15 counties and the traditional leaders. What did Obasanjo now see in Cape Mount? Besides the chicken farm he put there.
Eugene Fangon, I don't think you've been following Liberian politics.
No, maybe
if not, President Weah would have won 20 to 20.
The fact that somebody said to somebody, my son, go sit down, don't cause no trouble. Let her sit down there. Does not mean he influenced the result.
If he doesn't win the election, why they say don't cause trouble? If he didn't win the election.
Somebody begging you not to cause trouble, Remy. Does that mean they're influencing the result?
Of course.
And you see trouble.
If another man fails to win the election.
Don't take my time. Let me finish.
No, I know where I'm going to the phone line. Y'all just be talking. Yeah, that's
why he want to. Remy, let me tell you have your time to talk. I will give you some facts versus fiction. The fiction is here, there is still room for Cummings and Bwaka to resolve the issue. That is the fiction right now. The fact is, as I know it to be, Bwaka is far ahead of the discussion at a table. That is a fact. The fiction is what we're discussing, that there could be room for discussion. Somehow things will change. In this 11th hour, that's hope. You have the right to hope. That is your opinion. I will also want to hope. That will be my opinion. But as it stands right now, people in Liberia right now are gathering to line the route from 9th Street straight up the way to Duko, Buse Quarter, Chalata, all those areas will be flooded when the announcement is made, hopefully by the end of this week. When that announcement is made, wait for me, hire unto talk, I'm giving you fact. When that announcement is made, that's why I started my opening comment by
No,
saying,
you're giving an opinion, not
I'm
fact.
giving you fact.
No, not
I
fact.
will remind you.
You giving your opinion.
Okay, I'm giving you fact. Take it
Opinion,
to
opinion.
Okay, I'm giving you fact.
Opinion.
Now, when that announcement is made about JMB running mate, the streets will be crowded with people, and people who are watching us right now have told you, your own research have told you, and you're living in denial, that Alexander Cummings cannot beat JMB if election was held today. Alexander Cummings cannot beat JMB. Wait now. Yeah. The Liberian people, you know what? Let me say this to you. Maybe it will help you. You're bringing your supporter them from America here so they can go and vote for
Mr. Fango, if that theory, if your theory holds, let me ask you this. If your theory holds, why the Omex not go?
Let's protect Fango, please.
No, let's protect him, but let me ask you a question. Why progressive? If that theory holds, if that theory holds,
let's
if
protect
that theory holds, Mr. Fango.
Your question, you come to your question.
How we cannot face Cummings at the CPP?
Let me tell you something. First of all, you guys moving the goalpost. Let me start with one thing. There is no law, treaty. You read the Liberian Constitution that trumps the Liberian Constitution. And because the Constitution is very specific as to the role of democracy in our society, that paper you see to neck cannot be the paper to say, because it's to neck, this cannot happen. If the two people agree, they can withdraw their paper and they will still go. It's not printed in go on God chest. So let's do that story. Now, how can all of them, when they're separate ways, they can decide to come back? The law permits for that. Now, the point I want to raise to you is this. If you say you understand Liberian politics, then wait and see what will happen before the weekend. So your understanding of Liberian politics can know whether, and I will say this to you, and I say it from the bottom of my heart.
But Vango, you've been telling us to wait for too many things.
Great, please, I beg you.
You've been telling us to wait for too many things, nothing happening.
You spokesman for ANC.
No. Every now and then. No, I'm not spokesman for ANC.
But yeah,
but you come here.
Why you don't want to respect it?
Great, let's wait a second.
Why you don't want to respect
30 seconds left. He'll be done in 30 seconds.
Why you want to run around here and want people to respect your opinions and your analysis?
Okay.
But you want to respect other people's analysis.
Go ahead.
Please.
No, don't say go ahead. I find it very funny today. You talk, you get all your beautiful analysis that you and Fadiga talk something. I just say now watching you. But when one time you want kind of I want time you want kind of okay, Remy Fagon. Remy Fagon.
That's right.
Okay, Remy Fagon Gion, let me talk. Alession. Now, I'm saying this to you. So the moderator asked me a question. Why I think the JMB wealth of experience can help the country project, go forward. I should put it that way. Here is why I think JMB is a better candidate. One, his entire life has been dedicated to the country called Liberia. He has served in various capacities in public life, ranging from being a managing director to minister to all the way to Oppo, president of the Senate, vice president, all those things plays into his accolade. He has been around for almost 42 years with the same traditional people. The traditional accolade applies. The cultural aspect gives him the goal. That's 3. Number 4, he has served next to the presidency. Not way down. I said after him, is supposed to be president. So when we climbing ladders and you don't know where number 14 is to reach number 15, we know. Now, when we come to all of these things, she asked the question, how will it help? If that does not help, a corporate executive from America where a system is established, who manage billions of dollars, which we respect, cannot come back home and say, because I was the manager or the CEO or the executive director, of a corporate institution. It means I understand
of
in
a
leadership.
functional institution versus a failed institution, the
Okay,
Republic
all
of
right.
Liberia.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Fagon.
No, let me say I finish. That ANC show yeah. That me and I agent
Oh no.
That me and my comment.
Bango,
So
Liberia is a failed experiment.
what I really asked
Coca-Cola is a successful experiment. Somebody who is successful.
Mr. Fagon, you've been talking for I gave you
Yeah.
more than enough time.
Somebody who is successful coming to correct a failed
You get time
experiment.
to say that I answer sure after I give you all that time protecting you.
Why is it that when my statement
Liberia is a failed experiment. We need somebody to correct it.
When thank you, sir. We're gonna go to my phone now.
All the things saying that at Tabata, my brother, nothing has worked.
Okay, very good.
Nothing has worked.
Okay, Fago, are we done?
Somebody who will come and straighten things to work.
Mr. Gray, can you guys please? Yeah, please.
Oh, forget about ANC or
no, you say ANC must have issue. You're talking when you finish, you will let me talk.
Yeah, the only has been in a non-functional status.
Order
the government that he has covered,
not please.
Why you get told that thing to me your time?
Which time?
Why it will be my time you want
to
talk?
Because you got 10 seconds, so you're taking 30 seconds to talk.
But you're the man that just is telling me what they... So
30 seconds.
Get to the ANC people.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, man, to tell the ANC.
It's not about ANC and CPP. It's not about ANC and CPP.
Are you done? Are ready to proceed, Mr. Fagon?
All right, let me close on this note.
Thank you very much. ANC people.
It's going to be a JMB and Jeremiah Kuhn ticket. And that is what the Liberian people have decided. And we hope that
it's going to be JMP and Jeremiah Kuhn. So imagine you are waiting for the man to make an announcement. Fagon making it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They voted for them? They voted for them?
I said the team finished already. Now, Benesi Papi for my mom?
No. No, a little plum C. Not even Benesi. Benesi
okay, too small. You saw two people saying that together today.
Plum C.
And you saw the two people saying that together today. It finished. From Morovia, they go to Kagata.
I'm moving on, Mr. Fagon. Thank you.
Tell the ANC man what they say.
I'm moving on. I'm actually going to give Colonel Remy Gray an opportunity to respond to what he just said. And then we are going to move on to the phone lines. And it's only fair because other times you have asked me to give you the opportunity to respond when somebody says something. And okay, Mr. Remy Gray, please respond. There's a couple of things. I asked the question about leadership and experience. Mr. Fagon talk about the vice president serving as vice president He served more than 42 years in politics. He got the culture aspect, so that the reason why he should be vice president. He's been in public life. He's dedicated his entire life to Liberia. Those are the things I was writing when he was speaking. And then, is that sufficient to make somebody a leader in Liberia to move our country forward? So, Remy Gray, please answer for us.
You know, I still believe that if these two people come together, we have a winning ticket. But I'm not a fan.
No.
You interrupt you.
Why the man interrupting me?
That independent sedition interrupting.
You must not discriminate against Fadiga.
Yes, enchanted sedition is interrupting the ANC men.
If those two people come together, for me, I just think that it's a landslide victory. But I don't want people to think the only time they can come together is one person should be above the other. One person comes with a wealth of successful leadership experience, who from day one, they will hit the ground running. They will know exactly what to do, as opposed to somebody who, you understand, they've been there around a failed experiment for 170 some more years. You understand? This person, you're talking about 42 years of experience. That's why I said don't look at all the fine print. If you do, then you don't have a case. I think if you put the two together, if the two were to go in front of a panel of HR, people who are hiring for a position, definitely they'll push the Ome aside. They will take Cummings.
In your sleep.
Liberian people, on the other hand, who probably could be the HR, have a mindset. And that mindset, I still believe that it favors the old man. That's why I say the two of them complement each other. But when it comes to who will run a successful government, definitely I give kudos to Alex Cummings. He will know from day one what to do based on what he has done in the past, in his past life. He has ran something that netted billions of dollars, raised the bottom line. Coca-Cola, like I said, from 90 million, you understand, $1 billion. Now we're talking about 190. He left it at 170. Tell me what. Tell me what.
How many have Liberia girl? All that thing have the Coca-Cola.
Distraction, Falcon. I'm gonna give you a red card very soon. Distraction, okay? Just intensity.
Coca-Cola has been one of the longest serving.
I'm sure you watching this.
Coca-Cola.
They get a people 190 billion. How many get I brought together?
So okay,
you want to go? I've not done that argument to see how much Coca-Cola has benefited our economy in Liberia.
190 billion.
Okay, we have to move on. We have to move on. What I'm hearing you say, Remy Gray, you are talking about a system. You are telling us that Cummings held a system together, the system of Coca-Cola, okay?
Yeah,
it wasn't just a system that was already established. It took a person to hold a system. He actually was outcome driven because it was a for-profit company. So it was outcome driven. In outcome driven, you look at the governance structure of that company, okay? You try to see that company and versus what we have in our country right now, the lack of good governance is which is causing a lot of the problems as we're seeing right now. And that's what I'm hearing you say.
Thank you, teacher. Corporate leadership is different from
200 years old experiment that is
different from political leadership. We are looking for political leadership, not corporate leadership.
What are they? Okay, we're gonna go to the full line.
42.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 1 minute. Farika, Sarimatu, 1 minute. Sarimatu is gonna close us, gonna take us to the full line.
You against Sarimatu? That one?
How many you want to give up?
Give me more than one. Y'all will say ANC again. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarimatu.
We can win this year.
ANC people there.
Yeah, we can win. The first thing they said we ANC, then when they turn around, no problem. Me, I tell you one thing. You know where I stand. Yeah, that's exactly where I stand.
I like that.
I'm standing with Liberia.
Yeah, no, I stand with Liberia too, but Liberia they need to stay on that leg. Well, you need to be able to stay on that leg.
If people start counting the team now, they say 3 minutes for each of y'all. So all the ANC people that are just in 3 or Sarimatu, 3 Remy Gray, 3 that 9 million.
No, you know what? Let me. I will use 1 minute.
No problem.
I would say.
Okay, let's go. Gotta go to the full lines, please.
I make no apology for supporting the ANC. I make no apology.
Well, me,
you have an organization. You have an organization that can't even raise money. Look at that. Imagine that they decide over the.
You coming on a difference between.
Great. You're interrupting my show today. I will start giving you a record.
I know you guys talk about Cummings and Cummings corporate experience and Cummings. Look, Cummings is a fine candidate. I think Oben Boyka has some experience. I have my own disagreement with Oben Boyka in the Unity Party. But I'm a little concerned about Mr. Cummings. And my concern is his inability to rule the voters. I mean, he may be a good product, but he's been terribly marketed. And every time we say this thing, people think it's a negative thing. I don't mean it to be a negative. I like Cummings. I think he's a great guy. I think he has done a lot for himself. I wish Oben Boyka was not in the race. I wish he had done something differently. But like Mr. Cummings always say, if you keep doing the same thing and keep getting the same result, what is troubling at this time is It has been 6 years. I have not seen Mr. Comey move the goalposts. Now, you can either choose to be in your own state of mind and believe whatever you want to believe. But the reality on the ground doesn't jive with what a lot of our people in the ANC or the CPP want to believe. Yes, in a perfect world, probably Cummings would be ahead. In a perfect world where we didn't have the transitional chief, the Zoes, and people that have their own personal biases against a name that is Cummings and not Flomo, but a perfect world where people look at different things. Until we can come to that place of realization and snap that this is Liberia, people say, oh, Liberia way mean nothing can happen. Yes, something can happen, but you have to get there and have complete control over that system before you can change it. All these fancy dream is something, at the end of the day, if we are not mindful, George Weah will come out victorious. The only way we can get it, I don't care. Cummings don't have to go on. Nobody have to go. I just want us to start thinking that the opposition needs to come together. Let us forget about who will do this. We already know. I know people say, oh, now we should decide it before because one of the problems will become later on in the Sunday. But the reason here is the leadership can do that in the back. We, the supporters that support for this, we shouldn't be on who will go first or last because everybody want a guy to be the first. I know Salimatu want Cummings to be the first, which JMB will order the race today. Order the race today. Other people wanted to, people wanted to. But until we can allow these two guys to make that decision, I think that should be a decision for both of them in the back end because every one of the supporters would not accept it. But while we all should come together and realize that we cannot defeat George Weah with disunity. It is becoming clear.
Matthew, please take us to the phone, please. Thank you.
I think I would talk directly to the private sector. Private sector, that your town. For years, everybody been saying that what time. The private sectors, the entrepreneurs, the people who are looking to create jobs for Liberia, the women that your town. And personally, that only a corporate leader that has the international network, the global network, the experience outside of Liberia, that can tell you there, y'all will not be spectators, so let me sign
a cross before
you cross.
Y'all in Kidma.
Let me sign a cross before they cross Sammy.
So Matthew is calling on.
Now nobody for her to call again, but she's still not on call for after the 3 years. Let me great talk, Fadiga talk, you talk. She won't call me after she coming to summarization. Okay, if I fail a class.
Listen, we don't.
Let Fangon talk. Let him talk. But all I can say is. Let them find a way to come together. Don't justify why somebody is more experienced. Just come together. That's what we need.
I tell you, anytime you put a woman hair or something, yeah.
Oh, you talking bad about us women now?
No, on the International Women's Day.
Go ahead, talk.
Look, let's face reality and let's come to something that is substantial and serious. When you look at the situation on the ground, Cummings over the last 6 years did not build an empire sufficient enough. I've said it before. He did not grab the best and the brightest. He settled for people who came around and told him they could, rather than the people over the last 6 years that he saw performing. Secondly, Cummings, politicians in Africa, you gotta get radio station because I pray you tell your own team or other people tell their own. Cummings, you have the ability to bring TV. The people that are watching African show in Barca versus Real Madrid. In between there, Cummings, I play your so juk or your leti. You did not do that. Now, you didn't get the best and the brightest. You didn't get the radio station. You didn't get television. And you did not tread the needle of the traditional leaders and those cultural leaders. So now we reach this point. And the only thing Cummings can do is accept reality. He still got time. Between now and the announcement is the only time. Other than that, I was one of the first men to say that the only way for Mr. Cummings to the presidency is through JMB. Everybody on his side went, because I was brave enough to say it. I had done my homework. And I will conclude by saying, between now and the announcement, if nothing changes, Mr. Cummings will not even get 15,000 votes in the entire elections. And the reason will be simple. The propaganda will be tailored in a way that the Cummings people will stand and say, but if you look at it, Cummings not going nowhere. I love him to death. He's really my leader. But if I go for him, it's like I'm taking away from the defeat of George Weah. So I would just let Cummings be, because JMB might go for and say, you know what? I'll leave it to the other young people now, and Cummings might have another shot. But if we don't take it from George Weah, we're not prepared now to watch auditors dying, children being raped, women being abused, corruption at its zenith, and so forth and so on. So Cummings' own people will walk because the crowd will be moving towards a single opposition candidate. And that I can say emphatically, if Cummings does not move in the next 4 days and allow JMB to move, Cummings will have to wait for JMB 4 years or 2 years to be able to bring a new breed of generation together and maybe take the lead with them. If not, it's not going to happen.
We can hear you, Dad.
Unless I have been wrong in the past.
And again, all of you guys,
right now.
Yes, again, everybody's making really awesome points here. Okay, like Falcon, you are saying.
Somebody asked if JMB get radio station.
I will agree with you that
I'm gonna tell you a radio station.
Cummings did not lavish the support.
I can tell you 4 radio stations
in his resources that he needed. Okay, and that's exactly why I was going, Reverend Gray. I agree. Let's say, I agree with you, Falcon. He could have leveraged his resources to, earmark his vision the way that he wanted it to be for the Liberian people. But on the other hand, is that what is required in Liberia to become a leader? That you have to build radio station, you have to ask that.
No.
Let me
answer that question. The reason, Falcon, let me say that. Let me answer this.
People talking.
What happened here is what Brecker has in name recognition, Cummings could have gotten another way, because he's still new on the scene. So that could have compensated for his lack of name recognition. I'll give you an example. Look at you see, so it's not that you necessarily, it's either or. You either have it, or if you don't have it, you have to do something to get it.
But let me also, and I want to throw this again. I want to throw this, you guys. So, Fadika and Falcon, I come here every day and you guys talk about democracy, good governance, what we want our country to be, want to see development, want to stop the killing of people, as Falcon can say. We don't want to see auditors being killed in our country. The only aspect, though, that I see some of you championing in terms of democracy is this winnability, this popularity, this name recognition thing.
Because you can't have power unless you win. You have to win.
That's one. And then power is concentrated in the executive. All the other things you see that. Look at Georgia. We got legislature. We got everything else. Nothing functioning. Only the presidency, the president, whatever he wants to get. So if you are a good president, I'm telling you, you can transform Liberia. You can make it whatever.
Look at the short people threatening the VP. She
said, "Oh, that picture. You put that short people picture on."
Let's go to my phone. I go to my phone. I go to my phone. Okay.
When you want power, you gotta humble yourself. You cannot be adamant.
Yes. Nelson, let's speak to the Liberian people today. Let them call in. How important is experience, years in government versus leadership, where we can see, does experience give us development or leadership will give us development? Let them tell us today.
Okay, so the numbers to call 0777-771075 or 055-101075. So we'll take the first call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. You're live. Okay. Hello?
Hello, Nancy.
Yeah, go ahead. You're
And
live.
say hi to the This is DJ Lume calling from Corwell.
Okay.
Look, don't overlook what Fagon said. The American people, what they do in Africa, we got our own thing here. We listen to our leaders, to our country, the zone, the bull, everything they say. They say, oh, that it may will carry in the pan. That one, everybody will carry. The experience that comes there, all the millions of dollars for Coca-Cola, when I drop benefited from it. So they come into this place, Fagon was saying, get a radio station, get a television station, come down to release people what you want for the tap. And they tap, some of them said they don't send for the people to release. So at the end of the day, only you get all the big gurus, but they will not come down to the elite. And the elite will make a difference. So Fagon, you're right.
Thank you very much. Let's take this person. Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
Thank you. Say good evening to the Rise of the Canadians. The name is Kwewu William Covey, and I joined this conversation for this committee. Let's appreciate all of you. But let me say this to the ANC people. Probably they're forgetting history. There is no president have got to the presidency in this country that have never worked in government. Let's be clear with that. Totman self another leader. Thomas Totman, Do self Toiber, and Taylor said Do. And Justice said himself Toiber as minister. And George we ourselves Ellen also. So coming with comics who have never worked in government, you know that history cannot just be breaking easily to just take a corporate man to put into the presidency. But the Baka have always have already said several leaders, self Toiber, self Do, and self Ellen. So it is impossible for Kumi to just come and set that kind of a record. So America make that mistake by bringing Donald Trump from the business shop. They keep president. One thing they correct that mistake straight to take it up and bring in somebody who have been into the system from 40 plus years that Joe Biden. So we cannot make that mistake here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's take this person. Hello? Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
My name is Josh Morba from GS0. Yeah, thank you for the program this afternoon. We hear a lot of things you will forget saying is all that thing he talking is true. Because he can say that Kumi, you can't saw the paper. Follow behind the paper first step, he said no. But you want do your own way. So as a man, you know the party man. If you have a who voting for and the referee party, the paper.
Thank
you. Now, I tell you like that for only tell Kumi to come to the paper.
Thank you very much.
The government for empower. Only two can come together to take the government for empower. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, thank you to the Spoon family. My name is Michael Williams, and I join you from Painesville tonight. You see, my brother, sometimes the ANC people can really annoy people. This thing is not about, like since Farmington, you have already appeared like you are the sister for Kevin. Because every night or every time you appear on you annoy people since the way you do your analysis. You don't
just go to that point. Yeah, go to the point quickly.
Analysis.
Thank you.
To the issue of Kumi's boycott. Because you know that boycott served as 12 years. Boycott cannot go back about president. But your own, you build. I mean, sometimes.
Thank you very much.
When you finish, I will respond to that other human being there. Because number one, what he should have done, he should have listened to what I said. I said the people who ask there, they don't listen. They don't want more and be insulting people. All right.
Own self-interest.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
One, if you don't want to work with someone, you just want to come from the other side and just be going on your own and rule. We don't looking for rulers. We're looking for leaders. And Kumi want to be a ruler because somebody who don't want to work with somebody, they must know the type of tension he bringing. So if you want voter now, the best thing he doing now, the American he going, the American will vote for him there.
Thank you.
But as far I concern, I can't judge my vote for Kumi no more.
Thank you very much. Hello, you live. Good evening. Okay, hello.
Nelson, and then we're going to go to the Diaspora line.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead. Your life. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, my name is Super Junior. I want to say good evening to the rest of the panelists in the U.S. Well, I'm joining you from the community, and I quickly want to speak to, one of the panelists that says the person who has all of the experience and have the connection outside there. The person may have all of the experience, Mr. Cummings, to be specific, may have most of the experience in corporate America, but there's no corporate America, this is Liberia. And in Liberia, people are connected to us like George Weah is the person who the Liberian people are deserve to represent. President George Weah, he's connected with the people. So always come down to meet the common people. Mr. Cummings from corporate America to bring Dr. This, all of those people who have a doctorate degree, like on a 20 AA degree, these are the people who are going to be in his government. There'll be no space for the criminals. So I think the common people find George Weah to be more connected to them, and also Vice President Joseph Barker.
Thank you very much.
And
we'll go to the Diaspora line, please.
Because it's the Asian favor. So pitiful and sorrowful for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The final call now. Hello, you live.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Ambassador Fallo, and I call from Ghana. So thank you for the opportunity. I want to thank Fagon, for pushing very critical or very interesting point. You see, these are the communists. These are the people that are deceiving Kumi and think that they can make him to win election. There is no way you can pull JMB and Kumi and you think he's even going to come half to him. You see, when you are running in the presidential context, see what happened in Gambia. Some political party, the most popular among them was the one that carried. And even if you look at Kumi and GMB, they are not equal. So let them start deceiving you. Or else, like Fagon said, the only opportunity, the only chance Kumi has of becoming president of the republic, except through GMB, is now about corporate Margot. He said, corporate Margot, what have he done for this country? Nothing. GMB got bad experience. Besides that, he served this country with diligence that they cannot see what he has done. But we've seen what he's done, and we think that he's prepared, more than prepared. Give him the chance. After 6 years, then you have the opportunity to go.
Thank you very much. We're going to transition to our Diaspora call. I was saying, you see what I'm talking about? I say you got to build something like Bureau first. That the mindset that I was talking to earlier. But go ahead. Thank you, Nelson, for the call. Good day. Let's take calls from the Diaspora. We're going to take about 5 calls from the Diaspora before we move to our closing.
Yeah, you might be rolling on the screen. Good day. Why you be hiding it no more?
Hello.
Hello, good day. How are you? Good evening to the panelists tonight. Am I online? Can I be heard well? Am I very audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I want to tell what a guy named Conor Gray, you've been very condescending, disrespectful. And I can tell you that you do not know the Liberian body.
Thank you. Let's move on to our next caller.
Yeah, how are you? Welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, James.
Yes, go ahead.
Am I on?
You are live. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good night, everybody. My name is Vitus, calling from Munich, Germany. As I'm saying, I'm in Nigeria. I agree with Fadiga and Eugene Fagon. First of all, let me give you an example what happened 2015 in the election in Nigeria. Buhari, General Muhammad Buhari he is the most popular candidate 2015. Tinubu, who is elected, Tinubu, who is the current president-elect today, he has the money, just like what's happening in Liberia and Kume, between Kume and Buaka. Buhari wants to run, and Tinubu wants to run. But what they did is what? Buhari, those APC, they say, okay, Buhari has the numbers. During last election, he contested. He won, he has the numbers. So let's use Buhari for the front. And Tinubu, you have money, sponsor this man. Tinubu bought ticket for him. Tinubu to sponsor his party. Tinubu did everything for Buhari, and Buhari won the election and become president. Now, today, Buhari is supporting Tinubu. Tinubu now is president-elect in Nigeria. As it is today, if you check the last time, Buhari come up. Kume is a very good man. He's a good person. He's marketable. He's good. He have experience. He have everything.
Okay,
but look at the Liberian politics. You check your politics. It is different from those corporate world you people are talking. It's different from what happened in abroad or here we are today.
All right, thank you.
If you check in Africa, I'm coming, James. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Conclude.
what I'm trying to say, African politics is different from what those people in America are saying. Use the most popular candidate. When you use the most popular candidate, you win the election before you start talking about competency and all those things you are talking about. You understand? Win the election first. When you get the power, you can apply what you are saying. But now, Kume doesn't have the number to go there as a president. So what you will do, use the men who already have the number. Attach with him. Go there. That's what I want to say. Thank you, James.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Caller, please.
Hello.
Women, please, we're encouraging you to call as well.
Yeah, your name. Go ahead. I beg you, when you call on the show, please be respectful to the panelists. You can put in your point without being the way you were
Okay,
first.
I understand. Good day. I understand. Oh, hello to everyone in the panel.
Go ahead.
We just heard something from the Nigerian spoke about politics and popularity. That's African politics. If you are popular with the Liberian people or the African people, even if you are broke, even if you don't got money,
You're holding the line. Okay. Let me get this. Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Your name and where you calling from?
Frank, I'm calling from Delaware.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, go ahead, make your point. Please do a receiver.
Okay, I just did. So I'm kind of new to politics and spoon, and I'm enjoying the panelists. My favorite is Dr. Richardson. Just listening to the Fagon and Fadiga, the pessimism that is in Liberian politics is just crazy. You're talking about healing a person that's been in politics for over 40 plus years. I'm 38 years old. Liberia has been a failed state for that long. But you are using his experience to go back and run a country that is literally has ran it into the ground. I think it's obvious that you guys are just pushing interest over what's right. And what's right is pick the future of Liberia. Alexander Cummings will be the better president. You guys all know that, but you're still pushing interest.
Okay.
Right? Because you think they can win, which makes no sense. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Jadu, and I have a question for Fadiga.
Go ahead.
So, Fadiga, every day you come on the show and say that George Weah is making kids to go and register. Do you have evidence for that? Can you show the proof on the show that George Weah is bringing kids out to register? Or you just want to cause confusion in the country? Why is it in America?
All right.
This is not right.
Caller, thank you very much.
George Weah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have an
Hold on,
answer.
let her talk. Now let her get it kind of put it talking.
No, we discussed this.
Yeah,
what is your name and where you calling
I don't
from?
know what she the proof has. I mean,
my name is Nakando Kato, and I'm joining you from Boston.
Yeah, go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, I'm just calling to talk about Mr. Alexander Cummings. You know, when I hear Liberian people saying, "Oh, this man is new," you know, he has to wait for his time and all that. It just make me sad because it shouldn't be about that. This man is new. It should be about what this person can do. I was in Liberia in 2017, and my attention got drawn to Mr. Cummings because he was the only candidate that had a plan for what to do and how to proceed after Madam Seri presidency. And not just having a plan, but he had a plan and how to proceed with it, how he's going to go on with all those plans and everything, unlike all the other candidates that was in the race. And if we do our background check well enough, you know, and which we don't do in Liberia, we're going to know that Mr. Cummings is one of those people that is going to do a lot of good things, you know, and try to change the society. You know, we don't need people that been there already and been talking about kuku jubiku, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, let me try to get this call.
2 more callers, please. And
All
as
right.
you get the call, I just want to know that we don't mind callers coming, but just be respectful again to the panelists, okay? And likewise, panelists will be respectful to you as always.
Let me try to get this. No, bro, you spoke already.
If we don't have any more callers, we can go to our closing.
I'm trying to get a call.
Okay, that's okay.
Hello?
Thank you.
Yes, hello, my name is Augustus P. Flomo, and thanks for having me. Let me tell Fangon, a two-man race between Mr. Cummings and Joe Bucker. Mr. Cummings, that is a George Rice not in the race. Mr. Cummings will flog Joe Bucker because all the seditions, including opposition who are not Unity Party supporters, they will all vote for Mr. Cummings because nobody wants to see Joe Bucker anywhere around our presidency. And then number two, it is kind of comical that Mr. Fangon is supporting Joe Bucker. Mr. Fangon on the same show, he said, "You have your job. You put me $3,000 to talk for them, then you're best." Referring to the ANC people. Since the ANC people denied him the $3,000, now that Center is paying him, he's supporting Joe Bucker.
All
So
right.
they may have.
So, but why he named the person in the ANC that gave me the 3,000?
Okay.
That's
Last
the
caller,
ANC
please.
people. The ANC that people.
Last caller, please.
Now still don't pay me.
Your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hey, good day, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, my name is Corey Sibo,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm calling from the US.
Okay.
You see, a lot of the people don't understand how Liberian politics is. And I want them to please be recorded. I know history will definitely vindicate me tomorrow. Look, there's no possibility for Alexander Cummings to be president with all he going at vast tenor bird of Joseph Walker. And look, I want you guys to understand. If you go on my page, it's my music song. I wore Alexander Cummings t-shirt. I went to Georgia. I've been back and forth to Liberia and the US. All right? I have seen everything. And history will validate me tomorrow. See, a guy called on the show and he said it.
All right.
Look, be careful with Musa Berede. Musa Berede is a paying agent.
All right, sir.
Watch and see at the end of the day when they go for runoff, when Unity Party and CDC go for runoff, Musa Berede will refuse for Alexander Cummings to support Unity Party, the opposition. If it's not happy, don't never respect me. Let it be recorded.
Thank you.
Musa Berede will refuse for Alexander Cummings to support the Unity Party because he's a paid agent.
Thank you.
CDC paid.
Thank you very much. We are now going to move. James, good day. Thank you so much for helping us facilitate the calls. We're going to move on to our closing comments and closing thoughts. Panelists, you guys were so awesome today. I really enjoyed the different positions that everyone held. this represents what Liberians are struggling, what they are going through, trying to make this major decision that we have to make about our beloved country. Callers, also thank you for calling as well. Salamata, I'll start with you to do your closing thoughts, and then we're going to go to Fariga, and then we're going to go to Fagon, and then we are going to go to Greg, and then I will close.
Okay, so let me say this. I come on this platform on my own time. I'm not getting paid. This is my own set time I take, and I come on here. And I don't allow anybody to disrespect me off of this platform, and it's not going to happen here. Okay, I'm not one of those people who, well, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. You go low, I'm going low with you. All right. So with that said, please pay attention to what I said over and over. Nobody is saying Mr. Boycott should go as anybody VP. I'm saying right now, the two scenario, the narrative that we need to be pushing, just everybody pushing that narrative, or JB coming should go as Mr. Boycott VP. You say your own, we say our own, and you get vexed. I said no, he might not go as VP. That's my personal opinion. I don't speak on behalf of CPP or ANC. I said my opinion, just like your opinion. You said Mr. Cummings should go under JMB. I said no. Let's change the narrative. Let's say let them either go separate as they're doing now, and everybody go vote for the independent candidate. And in the second round, we pour our support behind whoever makes it to the second round. That one option, because of the way low that it's going. The second option, why can Ambassador Kwaka say, you know what? I retire, I raise the man here up, and y'all support the man. Isn't that another narrative? What's in y'all getting vexed for? Yeah, don't get vexed. You said Mr. Cummings will go at second. We said no, let the other man lead a race and raise the man here, and you get vexed. I beg you, man. We having a discussion here. Yeah, y'all mind yourself. Number two, sometimes when I listen to the Liberian people, I can be thinking, I'm like, I think people, like some of the Liberian people really feel like they own the monopoly over poverty. And like they like where they are, they like the way things been going, and they won't keep it there. And they do that through they try to divide us. Now, what a new message. You're in America versus you're on the ground. What does that mean? Or you're that got degree and you're the and we the one on the ground. I mean, sometimes when I listen to the argument, I'm like, are you serious? Is this 2023? That's the kind of argument you're making to support your candidate? Let's talk about, you know what? I can respect when somebody say, you know what? Ambassador Black have been in public service for over 40-something years, and he has the experience. That's an argument that we're supposed to be making. And we can come and say, you know what? Oh, no, Mr. Cummings is the future of Liberia. He had his corporate experience. We want to change the narrative now. We want Liberia to be more private sector driven. He has that experience in the private sector, and we need something different. That's an argument that we give. But for somebody to be calling and talking about, when we elect somebody, they will be bringing all the people from America. How many people in America you really think somebody will input to go to Liberia and go work? Like, government is the largest employer. So you're relating all the people in America that's sitting there, that's sending money every day when somebody say they're here fighting. Y'all think that what they're really looking forward to? I'm sure within any society, you will get one or two people who looking for a job. The people who in America, they may be looking for a job in Liberia. The people who setting in Liberia, as we've seen time and time, that they get into power. Most of the people who are on the ground in government right now, they've been living in Liberia, and what have they done for you? Y'all really feel like y'all own the monopoly over poverty. It's like, I've been poor so long, so therefore, anything I can, let me stay with what I know. That's the way sometimes when I hear the reasoning behind it. You're that in America versus us that on the ground. Really? Liberians are not Liberians? When you go into a money grant to go accept money from your family, they're not sending money back home to you. That the money funny? Huh? When you go into the embassy and standing outside to get visa to come here, huh? They grant funny on the side, yeah? Most of us, we've lived in Liberia. We have this emotional attachment to Liberia. It doesn't, when we decide we want to come live in America, it doesn't mean that we're not Liberian. Y'all need to stop that. This is 2023, and you're still talking about y'all versus us. Let's talk about the actual platform. These two people will go separate way. They will go to the second round. When they go to the second round, what's gonna happen? And I just seen love we're gonna have. I just personally wish, no, you will have some people who will be bitter. There are always people in a group who bitter. There are people right now that just bitter. Whether they go together, then go together, they're bitter. You will always have that. What was all this energy in 2017? When we were begging people to jump behind them, man. That was the argument they were making. Oh, the man, the man, That's what 2017. What happened? What changed in 2023? So anyway, we do not own the monopoly over poverty. This is something I always tell the women entrepreneurs. You do not own it. You're not supposed to be poor. That's not your calling. Yeah? So you sit down, use your head, put your research together, look at what's happening in other countries, how they're moving forward. Use your diaspora. And not to say that, we got people on this side that can be very, 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 very arrogant. Yeah, let's get that straight. Even the diaspora, yeah, we can be very arrogant at times. But nevertheless, the two countries, that should never be on a topic when we're talking about platform and electing a leader. I can bet you CDC just sitting there looking at us and laughing. They said, look at the one there. By the time we throw something here, they can split. We throw something here, they can split. You do not own the monopoly over poverty. If you're happy, if you're happy, I will keep repeating what Stanton said. If you are comfortable right now where you are, then you were in 2017. Are you okay? Are you doing better? No problem. No problem. Go to the polls and vote for CDC again. Like in 6 more years. No problem. Liberia will still be there after 6 years.
Thank you. I'm now going to move on to Fadiga to do his closing, and then I will do my closing, and Fagon has to, and then of course Gray. Actually, after Fadiga, Gray, I will do my closing, and Fagon will take us home as usual.
So if Fagon, you create a lot. Because when Fagon start talking, then fire will open here. But Salamatu, like you eloquently said, I think you're missing the point. And I will tell you again. You give the Liberian people education, they say they want bus. You give them bus, they say they want something else. You have to know what the people want. The people are not afraid to vote for good leaders. The people want to be certain that they will vote this leadership out. If you cannot give them that assurance that they will vote George Weah already out, they know that there will be a retaliation. They know that there will be backlash if George Weah succeeds. And that is the fear. And the only way to give them that assurance is to show them that there will be a solid one-round ticket. And based on what we have seen, based on the argument, the fighting, the backstabbing, and this other coming supporters versus UP and this other something, they are not getting that assurance. Two things will happen. They will either stay home or they will vote for George Weah. Because they know that even though their suffering may be guaranteed, for mama and papa will still be eating small things and they will decide what will happen. Because I have lived in Liberia. I know what uncertainty is. I know what it means to live and know what your next day meal will not be like. People that control your tummy, that give you a little bit, they support you. And having said that, when we talk about opposition unity and we talk about Mr. Cummings, going first or second or something, it doesn't mean that Mr. Cummings is a bad candidate. No. It doesn't mean that he has less experience than Mr. Boyka. But we have to be very realistic with Liberian politics. Our politics is decided different. It's the same thing with America. They got Electoral College. Nobody complained. Hillary Clinton won 3 million votes more than Donald Trump. And she ended up losing the election. Have we questioned that? Can you imagine that thing? You win 3 million votes over your opponent, and then they come around and say Donald Trump win. That's one of the dumbest things anybody can do in any election I think about. But we were forced to accept it because the American electoral system was created that way. They feel that the majority don't always make the right decision. So they got a few more people they call electoral college to make the decision. There is a good reason for that. I was furious. I was mad that people will go to the vote in America, and over 3 million, not 200,000, 3 million who human beings, like bro, 3 million more people voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. But Donald Trump won the election, woke up the next morning. I had sleepless night for days. But that is the reality in America. Let's go to our reality. Our reality here is people vote on basic different things. They vote on tribe, they vote on or tradition, they vote on different things. Mr. Cummings, there are some things I wish and I pray that he had done 6 years ago. That did not happen. For us to sit down and pretend like it happened, it did not happen. If he had the skills, if he knew that, I don't even know, but I want Mr. Cummings and his team to sit down and realize that they mess up. At some point, they made some mistake. And that in order to correct that mistake, we must first stop the bleeding. Because mistakes were made. If you look 6 years later and we're still having a conversation, you have the finance, you have the international connection, you have the young people. Look what happened during 2017. Do you know majority of Cummings voters? Cummings have the women voters. That's a strong voting bloc in Liberia. And I was very proud of Mr. Cummings when he came fifth, or they can call it 7%. One thing was sure, women flooded to this guy. The women he's loving. But you know the women that I did not see beyond Mr. Cummings? I did not see the market women. I did not see the people that really decided the election. And in the last 6 years, I see other women. I see different women. Women that outright will not get him elected. The real women that took the voter card from their children and send them and force them to vote for Ellie, I do not see them fall into something. I know a lot of people would not want me to hear it. And the reason why I'm a little furious at Mr. Cummings, and sometimes I'm more generous with try to calibrate my words, because there's some things that I just wouldn't say right now, because honestly, the reason JMB is still being considered in a race is because somebody did not do their homework. So I would want to sit down and wait for you to sit down and say, oh, you know what, I will marry the position and just be behind something because or something. There are some people that still believe that will happen. Like I said, politics, I wish it was trial and error. But this is not trial and error. This is the reality that we have to live with for another 6 years. We have to live in a country that insecurity is going to be on the rise. We have to live in a country that people will get murdered and there won't be any explanation to it. We have to live in a country that corruption has become so rampant and widespread, we do not even know where to start. We live in a country of people that have taken incompetence to another level. We live, for lack of a better word, in a cacistocracy. And we cannot afford it. We live in a country that in the last 6 years, we have not had any foreign direct investment. It's by design. How can we restore?
Yes.
How can we restore sanity to our country? How can we stop the bleeding, get it back on track? Only the grown folks in the room can do that. So we can sit down and argue side and keep posturing who read the argument of who is better and who got qualification. We have passed that argument a long time. Liberian people don't vote on this thing anyway. They vote on different things. My thing here right now is how to get this thing out of this thing out of restore something to Liberia.
Remy Gray,
where we are.
Well, great show. Sometimes people, Liberian folks, we are too temperamental when it comes to our position. That's what happened. Two people watching English Premier Soccer, one for Man U, the other one for Chelsea. people playing the game. Way in London, there somebody will take up knife and stab the other guy, because that's how we approach politics, us Liberians, and see the temperament of people who calling, you're denigrating this, you're denigrating that. I think I open my statement here by saying the best ticket will be the two people coming together. Let's calibrate, calm your temperament down, and listen to what somebody is saying. The best ticket that would ever emerge out of this October 10th election is a Cummins Buckeye ticket. The two people should be able to decide who goes on top. It should not be a carte blanche for one person. You understand? Now, if you agree that the two complement each other, calm down your temperament. And for me, I don't come here and say I have this education, but if you go and pick up one of those early graduation books, you will see my name there as somebody with a distinction, magna cum. With distinction, graduating from the Department of Political Science, understanding Liberian politics. When people come, you don't know Liberian politics. Sometimes I want to pause and say, what is this Liberian politics people are talking about? Is it the fact that you must be crookish and if you don't know that, therefore you don't know the Liberian politics? Is it the willing and dealing? Is that what they mean by you don't know the Liberian politics? Because I was there for some time. If React, one of those voices of the oppressed people, will show up in the bathroom of the very fierce Grady Allison, React, that was distributed at the University of Liberia and other places in the society, if it will show up in the bathroom of Grady Allison, somebody who is in the army did that. I'm not going to talk too much. But you don't know Liberian politics more than me. Does that mean I can't say I have a bachelor's degree, distinction, political science, University of Liberia? Who cares? Or do I have to come and say, oh, I have a doctorate degree in public policy, so therefore, well, who cares? That's how Liberian people foster their own argument. They put themselves out there as opposed to their ideas. That's not who I am. I never talk about that. What I'm trying to tell you is simple. Those two men are still holding on to their vice candidates, but their vice running mate, because they still see room for them to collaborate. Us who are supporting them should not see one superior over the other. The two people have a good reason to come together and sit down and say, you know what, big brother or young brother, since you have the energy, the strength, take it. I will support you. I'll be your vice running mate. Big brother, since you got no ability, like one people seem to like you, this and that, and I will just be your running mate. But those two people can sit together and make that void of all the noise out here. We are too noisy. And we hold on to this our political interest as though it is our right. It must be, or the other man. See the amount of people that would denigrate other people. They want to go as running mate to the other. If you don't have the levity to look at someone and say they have the decency to be with your candidate, why are you why are you even suggesting that? But let me say this. Let me end by saying this. Liberian politics is no one's forte. Nobody should be coming here to say you don't know Liberian politics. The Liberian politics we know has gone for 170 some more years. We are still one of the least nations, probably second from the bottom. All the Liberian politics other people know, we're still last almost as a nation. That's why we need somebody that will come and obstruct that particular you don't know Liberian politics mentality and bring something different that will benefit most Liberians.
Thank you.
Most Liberians.
Of course, I'm going to say, my closing thoughts, and then Mr. Fagon can come in. And I want to speak to Liberians. For me, it is the issue of experience versus leadership. It is the issue of what is going to take Liberia to the next level. We can look at ourselves in the region and see how we are ranking low in terms of development. So I want somebody who's going to move Liberia to the next level, not necessarily somebody that has been in government for 42 years. I don't want somebody who has been vice president to a president. You know, like when people say, oh, you know, the system is you got to work with somebody else in government. And then that has been the way how we elect our president. Our president always come from the government sector. You got to have worked in government in order to be president. Just because we have done something the same way over and over and over and over doesn't make it the right way. And my answer to that is no, it doesn't make it the right way. Yes, I would take someone with leadership quality. Someone say, oh, you know, this person worked in corporate America. He's been here for a long time. Look, it is a system and people work in systems. I've worked at a university that was built in the 1920s. If we didn't have astute leadership at the university, it would not have survived for over 100 years now. Okay? And this is where leadership comes in. You have to understand outcome driven in an economy. You have to understand profit in an economy. You have to understand good structure. And this is what leadership brings. You have to understand communication. How do you communicate to people within your system? This is what Liberia has lacked. This is why we have poor governance system. When our father guy come here every day, he tell about, oh, we have weak institutions. Are we going to have good institution when we just rely on popularity and somebody who have had experience? My answer to that is no. So any day, I would take someone who exhibit and demonstrate leadership qualities versus winnability or versus popularity, because winnability and popularity are not just the only tenet of democracy. Democracy comes with good governance. It comes to having the vision to build roads, which you have not seen. You can be in government for 42 years and say you did farm to market or however way you want to describe what you did there. It does not mean that you have a vision for our country just because you have that experience. Now, who is supposed to change Liberians' mindset? Is it the people in Liberia, or is it a partnership with us in Liberia who come here and speak every day? We say, oh, the Liberian people, tell me, you know, here I have arguments privately as well. Oh, Dr. Richardson, I want to be a realist, okay? The people in Liberia, this is how they have voted for years. There's a reason why they have voted like that for years, because many things happen in our country that have kept us to where we need to be. But I'm not going to contribute to us maintaining a mindset of just voting for popularity when I know and I have learned and know better. And I want us to get another place, another development, another place in our rank of countries in Liberia. So on that note, I would say I would take leadership over experience any day. And I close and go to you, Fagon.
Well, thank you. Mine will be short. There was one caller who said, I'm taking $3,000 from, I took $3,000 from ANC people. Now Stanton is paying me, so somehow. I put a receipt out there so Liberian people can see, because the date is right there. You can see it at the top under my name, Fagon.
I would generally know those people than to tell you the truth.
No. Sometimes it's good to sell the records.
No, sometimes it's good. I agree.
Papi Flomo, when I arrived in the States and the president fired me, was one of the people who rallied and raised $1,365.22 to send to me. It was more. You see that 22 cents is still tip. Because I laughed, I said, but what are they picking one proof? And you had 22 cents here. So today, he can come there knowing my character and tell me that ANC people gave me $3,000. Now Stanton paying me now at the ANC. He's a big sedition. He's almost like the little brother of Kev. It's true we should not mind these kind of people. But these are the kind of people who don't know us, and sometimes it's good that we tell them these things. That look, I don't have to, like Salimatu said, be on your side. I don't have to. I am not going to support a party that have murdered people. I said murder because even the U.S. Human Rights Record report attested to it. Extrajudicial killings. People who are auditors are professional people. You murder about almost 5 of them. You beat students. Drugs, you import drugs into the country for 5 straight years. You bring in weapons to kill people. You want to support that government? I said, no, I'm not going to support it. I brought the government. You brought the government, but this was not what we wanted. The second caller that called and said, oh, because Kumi served corporate America, so it doesn't make sense. I saw that as an insult. And these are the kind of things that anger the Liberian people. Because Donald Trump served corporate America. But under his watch, over 1 million Liberian citizens lost their lives during COVID. At the end of the day, where is Mr. Trump? So because you serve corporate America, or because you stay 42 years in government, everybody will pick the side and make their case. Even old man Joe, people will criticize this for the 2 years. People will criticize Kumi's working for corporate America and not doing what he was supposed to do for Liberia. But we need to be tolerant of each other. Very tolerant of each other. But you pick your side, then you can't lie on the person to the point where Salimatu, who can talk, say, that other human being, I will get you push up. You know? You push up because at the end of the day, talk about your candidate, but don't make it look like she's the wicked person because she's defending her candidate. Politics will be a place, a marketplace. Yes. Sell your goose, let me sell my goose. Whoever the people want to buy from, they will buy from them. But you leave selling your goose and you want to attack me, it doesn't work. And finally, let me state this for the record. Mr. Cummins is a great guy. Mr. Cummins made his mistakes. Mr. Cummins got from now until the weekend to get the Pope, ECOWAS, Salimatu, even he got from now until probably the weekend. If he does not succeed, Mr. Cummins will not get 20% of the vote in this election that is coming unless I'm not Eugene Fagon. Because at the end of the day, people will love him, but people will take a vote and say, Mr. Cummins, I love you, but you're not going to get there. So let us give it to the Pabe. When the Pabe move 4 years, that is jobo between you, be among the young people and all of you. But right now, it's his time. They're going to go. And that 7% will not go above 7. It will not drop. And the reason why it will drop can be kept for another day so that all of you cannot stay here. But Mr. Cummins right now, his only path to the presidency is through JMB. Any attempt the tempted on a temptatious platform will be met with stiff resistance. I respectfully submit.
Thank you. On that note, thank you, callers. Thank you, panelists. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the diversity of views. Our guest tomorrow will be Representative Clarence Massaquoi. He will be coming in tomorrow to talk about
so why the Oman Akana? You're threatening the Oman
issues.
No, we'll get in touch with the Oma.
Yes.
Now the ladies here will get
No, the Oma struggling with the internet business.
The CDC Oma verse, you're looking and they say, why you're not putting Oma?
The Oma struggling with the internet business. She's struggling.
So on that note, I'll just tell you guys, watch show all kind of interesting pictures there. Yeah, I guess we trying
to show it, Ajim. Show it.
Yeah, from politics.
Let me show the shop people who I beg you.
The shop people up with a voice out.
I want you to look at something among the shop people. Everybody there wearing some kind of shoe. You see the thing that can make propaganda sweet? Look at all on the shop people for then look at the VP who not shoe. After I says here that the shoe these people supposed to be wearing, look on their foot.
Okay, propaganda really go. On that note, we're going to close the show because you're going to propaganda for truth.
Why did the vice president beg the people?
We care about you. Look, I go on, and I say, yeah, for you. Look at me.
Why the picture where she was on her knees?
You guys are funny.
Charges on the beat. To get your information.
Okay, folks, with that, we'd like to say thanks a lot. Thanks for being a part of this edition of the program, Spoon Talk. Thanks for making your contributions in the comment section, for watching, listening to your radio. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow. Until that time, I'm Nelson Colette. James Goodday Flomo is here. Of course, together, we're bidding you farewell. Have a good night. Bye-bye.